Can't believe it. Can't believe it. How am I gonna do this without no water? Let me drink the last bit. What is up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Are we seriously starting the show like this?
Yeah. God, that's gonna be weird, huh? Like watching an archive and just starts off.
Why is Nick fucking a bottle of water?
Yeah. But no, guys, what is going on? How is it happening? How is it doing? Whatever the case may be, Mortal Kombat review is here. We're gonna be talking. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. This is gonna be kind of long.
That's what she said.
And I definitely warned her. Or wait, she said that. So, fuck. That's unfortunate. You don't want to hear that, dude. Like,
Or you do, depending on who you are, man. We ain't judging.
yeah, no, we're definitely not judging. He's Ryan saying your review will be longer than the movie. That's what she said. Yeah, did that work? Was that good? No.
It's too specific.
Yeah, god damn it, fuck you. Why are you like the bearer of these bad jokes? Like I gotta go through.
Because I won't stop no matter how many times people tell me to stop.
That's just being immature, you know. You
And that is what she said.
You're a fucking. I hate
You
you.
goddamn right
I hate you so much.
Good. Let the hate flow through you. You get superpowers.
So here's the thing. I warned you about this before we even went on, but I gotta show you something, man. Because we're talking about Mortal Kombat and everything, guys. But I have some other fandoms. I have Walking Dead fandoms. I have the Terminator fandoms, Transformers, all that stuff. So
And that's about it.
no, but there's even more. Wrestling. Oh my god, wrestling. Corn, dude. I forgot. Corn's on concert right now. They're literally live right now.
Really?
Man,
in front of who? In Fortnite?
No, literally nobody. They pre-recorded it and they are doing a show on top of a building. It's fucking crazy. God damn it! I really wanted to watch that too. Fuck. All right. Anyways, guys. Well, while
The
I
show's
deal with that
canceled,
shit-
y'all.
No, I'm actually kind of upset. I'm like, man, I think I probably would have just watched the concert instead of doing the show right now. But you know what, though? It's all good. I'd rather us do this in the afternoon. We're hopefully going to catch that rate from Chris, which, by the way, Ryan, Mauricio, you guys in chat, make sure to, remind him if he's looking to rate somebody at the end of the show because, we usually do this, do the post shows from Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. And Wednesday, unfortunately, we weren't able to kind of do some stuff because electricity turned off. And then, dude, I want to give an update. I think, like, the whole Chris thing is kind of becoming really, really funny. Like, not funny, poor guy, but, like, apparently that water that I told you that busts all over his house.
Yeah.
So the one thing that was okay about it was, well, at least I didn't get to my room. Bro, it got to his room.
No.
Yeah.
Also, is the motherfucker playing Dead Space?
Yep, he's playing Dead Space right now. And at part 4 of it, so he's almost, would you imagine?
Oh, he's part 4, so he's when the game actually gets good.
Oh, no, it's good at the beginning.
No, I actually legitimately hate the beginning of the game. The beginning till about chapter 4 to me, I stopped playing it. I just was bored by this. I'm like, this game is not that interesting. It's just wannabe Resident Evil in space. And as soon as you fight the big brood, I'm like, oh, the game's over, right? I looked it up. There are 13 fucking chapters in this game. I'm out. I'm done. And I didn't play it for like a year.
Well,
Until a friend was like, no, just give it another chance. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll give it another chance. Once I got past that part, the game's like, here's some story. Here's some character. Here's some more stuff going on. We're going to expand the game. Here's some cooler shit. I'm like, oh, okay. This game's good.
Well, that's the thing, because like 13 chapters. If you're at chapter 4, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little bit of leeway here. I think it's
30% of the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're almost at half. I think it's okay to get a little upset. Like it should be fun at chapter 4 out of 13. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, well, and it's like I eventually grew to love the game. I think Dead Space 2 to me is better, but it's a different kind of horror. Dead Space 1 is, it's creepy, you hear sounds all over the place, jump scare horror. Whereas Dead Space 2 is, there are 150 monsters behind me and I'm running for my goddamn life.
Yeah, because I never played Dead Space 2, but I'm looking at this. For one,
dude, it's amazing.
The camera's really up your ass, though. Like, that's a little much. It's similar to the first one, obviously, but I do think that the camera is like trying to, I guess, put more definition on the things you're going to be seeing. So it's like, yo, you're right in the action.
Well, it's to make it feel claustrophobic at all times. Like, to me, like, everything about the second one from the start to the finish is like, how the fuck you're doing. It's probably the best Resident Evil game.
Yeah. Oh, shit, Ruthless, thank you for subscribing, dude. Really appreciate that. You don't even fucking know how much. I know you're going through things yourself and everything, so you supporting us like this, dude, super fucking awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And speaking of that, too, Ruthless, if you're in the chat and you're able to talk and everything, like typing the thing, like, Joe, what do you feel about Dead Space? Because I know Ruthless is kind of a nerd. Like, we've talked about Monster Hunter. He's played, dude, like, when I first played with Ruthless, he was fucking just whooping ass. Like, he was like, Nick, come on, man, put the fucking barrel there, do this. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, Ruthless.
Is that meme of the fucking girl from crying?
Yeah, man. No, but it was cool as shit. But I'm just curious, like, would this kind of fit under his like archival like knowledge as far as video games go? Because Dead Space is brought up with certain people at a certain age, but I feel like most gamers kind of like, oh yeah, that was a cool game, but anyways, moving on. It's like, no, like give this shit some respect. Dead Space is fucking. I put that up there in like in the top 10 franchises. That's fucking great.
It definitely is because again, it was a new IP. It was taking a lot from other existing survival horrors, a lot from a lot from Resident Evil. So that's why again, I was always mad because this is just Resident Evil in space with shittier like things going on. Until I gave the game more of a chance, I was like, oh no, this is definitely like this could have easily competed with the Resident Evil franchise if EA wasn't fucking stupid.
I will say though, do you remember the launch trailer when you were playing that song? I can
Smashing
feel
Pumpkins.
it. No,
I don't think
man,
it's the second
the
one.
Phil Collins. This shit right here, bro.
They
Dead
played
Space 3.
what?
Yeah, just
Oh,
Dead
yeah,
Space
just-
3.
That
This
killed
shit
the
was so
franchise.
cool, man. Hopefully the chat can hear it, you can't. But this shit was so cool. I love this remake of the song. But yeah, look at that shit. And then you see that and you're like, dude, like, what's down there? Like, is this gonna be a super action-packed heavy game? And it is, man. It's actually not
I
bad.
never played it. I never had. It was an exclusively co-op game, and I never had anyone to play it with. But it sucks because that killed the franchise. Like after that, because the problem with it is not so much it was the co-op because that wasn't necessarily the problem. The problem is they sunk so much money into the game that they'd have to sell like 6 million copies for it to for it to be not profitable,
Profitable?
but to break even.
Oh, to break even. Jesus
And,
Christ.
and by the way, for that number, 60 times 6 million is $360 million in revenue. That's more than most movies just to break even. Because EA was just like, well, we got to pump the visuals and graphics and everything action packed and all this shit. And it's like people like the game, but the problem was it wasn't as popular as EA wanted it to be. So when it failed to meet expectations, I'm not sure even how much it sold. Probably even like 5 million is fucking amazing for most games. Like not every game's gonna. GTA sold 20 million in a day, but that's Grand Theft Auto. It's one of the biggest franchises of all fucking time.
Yeah.
Dead Space was a new IP, so it's selling what it sold is like it probably sold well, but EA's like it's not enough, so we're shutting the studio down.
Yeah, dude. But no, and that's surprising. I mean, I will say, like, when they got, and what was it? What was the group that owned this again? By the way, like
Visceral Studios.
Visceral. They had a couple other games too. I'm gonna look them up actually, because
They have great games apparently. I didn't know this too. They did the fucking Godfather 2, and that's like my favorite ones.
Yeah, dude. Because we brought this up recently on the show, I believe, and I forgot. Like, yeah, well, the Godfather right here. My Sims. What was another? There was like some really big ones. Oh, Army of Two. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Like,
EA does not. Oh, you talk about fucking Valve doesn't know how to count to 3. EA doesn't know how to keep a franchise after 3. They kill franchises. Literally every single time it gets to a 3, the franchise dies. And by the way, I want to point out that it's not just me making shit up. We just got that with Godfather. Didn't even get the 3. Burnout, I think had 4 and then died. Def Jam Icon was the third one to kill the fucking franchise. Army of 2 died at 3. Like as soon as it gets to 3, EA just kills the franchise. Mass Effect is almost dead.
well, they even came in and did that because the Devil's Cartel is not the first one. This is like what, the third one, I believe. Because
The third one, yeah. The Devil's Cartel is the third one, and the first 2
And that was
were
when
like,
I
oh,
killed
these-
it. By the way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the first 2 were like you dealt with the same characters. It's kind of a not so much happy-go-lucky, but they had a little bit of fun with it. It was colorful. The gun customization was really cool, and you said the camaraderie between the 2 friends was very brotherly. It was a really good 2 games. Third one's like, well, we're gonna do 2 completely different people. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Get rid of all the color and anything that was interesting, so it becomes a boring fucking Tom Clancy shooter. And I think I played like 2 hours of it. I said, I'm out.
Yeah, guys, because I want to show you guys this. I mean, for one, the 40th day was pretty cool, and I could be getting these mixed up. I'm not like the smartest guy when it comes
40th Day is the second one, yes.
for sure.
Yes.
Or no? Okay. So this one is the Devil's Cartel, which I guess is the third one that EA did. Now, I don't remember this being bad with microtransactions. I know people feel that way about Dead Space 3. But I'm looking at this, and what I didn't like about this is, like, it kind of, like, it feels like it's so many other games. Like, it doesn't have an identity.
It was trying to be, it was trying to be what every other game was at the time instead of being separate. Because again, if you look at Army of 2, the 40th Day, the gun customizations go from normal to you can make this pink. Like and bubbles,
Yeah.
and it's fucking nuts. Because it's being a little bit funny, but it has its own identity to it. And this was around the time where everyone wanted to make. This was back at the time where everyone wanted to increase the length of the game, but they thought like, well, we got to add multiplayer or we got to add co-op. That was your 2 choices to quote unquote increase the length of the game because they didn't want people to play a game and never touch it again. because they thought as soon as people beat a game, they would never play it again, which isn't always the case.
But see, here's the thing: was this early enough into the world of 360 and everything that like maybe because like here's the thing: is like I understand doing that, but they haven't found a very monetizable way to continue the life of the profits of a game at this time yet, right? Because this is pre crazy transactions.
What is this? 2013? No, this was almost the end of the 360 life cycle. Because
Really?
2013, a couple years later, the PlayStation comes out in what? PS4 and Xbox One comes out in what? 2015?
2013.
So this
actually.
is wait, when did the fucking
Yeah,
Xbox One come out?
Xbox One came out in 2013 for sure. Yeah.
Let me look it up.
And wow, this game came out the same year. Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, 2013. Yeah, so this was one of the last ones. So this was at the end of the franchise, or end of the life cycle, where people weren't quite sure. Like people have never been able to really maximize exactly how to do it. I think right now we've gone in with battle passes, but
yeah.
I think people have understood that single player games can be profitable, multiplayer games can be profitable. Single player slash multiplayer games are almost never profitable because you're splitting up your development time. God of War, super fucking profitable. Warzone, super fucking profitable. There's no overlap between those two fucking games.
Really quick too, like this is another one. This is the 40th day, the one that came out before, 3 years before the other one, and look how polished this looks. In comparison, like I'm not saying it looks better. You know, I mean, there's obviously parts of this I'm like, okay, well, clearly
It's colorful. There's more than
Yeah.
two colors. I love the aggro system. The character's
Yeah,
red right now because
the HUD over
What's
here,
that?
like the top, like you're literally saying it. The aggro system. Like, yeah, I just want to let you guys know, like, this is what Alan's talking about. Like, that top there, dude. Like, I mean, why don't you explain what the aggro system is? I think you do a better job than me at that.
Sure. Basically, the aggro system is the more you're shooting and more you're acting like a crazy fucking lunatic, you're literally glowing red, and the enemies are gonna focus on you. So your partner basically shows up in blue. So let's say your partner's a sniper, he just hangs on the top and starts picking people off as they're all trying to kill you because you're running and gunning, which is what I played. I would run and gun. I would run in crazy with a shotgun, blow up everyone, and my brother would just start sniping the guys that were like far away or had rockets and shit like that because they weren't paying attention to them. That's the whole system. So you have the bar on the top where the more you're shooting, the more you get, and you literally start glowing red.
Yeah, which this was really, really cool. I mean, you can use this a lot for like boss fights and everything too. I fucking love this game. Like, and the third one had that too, but it's just it's not as polished. And I feel like once again, it just takes lots of things that this one and the original did. And here's the thing about Army of Two in general, just to kind of because we're never gonna talk about this again unless we actually play it. Which I would like to do it if we can, but
I would like to play it if we could find a way to play it properly.
yeah, but like one thing to bring up just as far as dates go, and maybe me and Alan this might where we part ways because
What's up?
I've been very, very like particular in my hatred for like when certain things come out. I think that there should be a system in place for things not to come out at certain times like near each other because it ruins the success of other properties. But one big thing about Army of Two that are very, very bad. It's like when originally the first one when it originally came out, I think it was like 2007, 2008, right? This was right like in the beginning of the trophy collection stuff where like Sony had their own like achievement system.
Yeah.
And one thing I was always irritated with that was just kind of weird that they didn't like respond to people with the multiplayer was odd. They didn't have a prestige system or anything that lots of other people were doing like Call of Duty, Battlefield, etc. But then to not have the trophy stuff, I mean, there was like a good 3 or 4 years where people were losing their mind about like achievements, and it was like a big thing for Sony. And Resistance and everybody else like followed suit and added the trophy system. Army of Two never did it. Then you do the 40th day, and there are certain things that you can have, like with the once again the Call of Duty games. I mean, and not to keep bringing up Call of Duty, but this is like around the time where they were at their, the Apex.
Apex, the best they were ever will be.
Yeah, and and plus with the DLC, that's when even Far Cry fucking had DLC. You know what I mean? Like everybody was doing this shit, and yet for some reason, Army 2: The 40th Day did not. Not to say it's a bad game because of that or anything, but to be in 2010 and not to have all these particulars that so many other franchises were doing, it just is always just a little bit late to the party. And then with 2013, it's like, why come out with a game on the last year to Xbox 360 and not just wait a year and have it come on Xbox One instead?
I mean, they did it. I mean, that's not necessarily the problem because Last of Us released like a year before the PS4 came out.
Yeah, true, but
It was the last one, but again, it was a single player game. It had a multiplayer component, but that was back when everyone wanted multiplayer.
But like,
At
remember
the end
back
of
in the day with Driver, because they were going to be GTA basically, and the thing is, what they want to do is
really?
have one more release on PS1. Meanwhile, PS2 just a year later gets GTA 3, one of the fucking coolest, greatest free roaming, whatever the fuck sandboxes. Driver, they basically, I mean, and guys, I know you're gonna talk shit, but like GTA and Rockstar stole from Driver.
Oh hell yeah! Oh fuck yeah! The idea that GTA was ever like it has its own original points to it. Of course it does. It started an entire open world franchise, but it wasn't even the first open world game. It was just the most popular. It stole almost everything from Driver because Driver was a dying franchise. Like, Ubisoft tried to fucking resurrect it, but it just never fucking went anywhere. But this happens all the time where games are being released around right when the consoles get released, and it's like, we can't sit there and just delay the game for 3 years to try to revamp it on a new engine. We just release it for the console people currently have. God of War 3 was famously not released on the PS3 when it first came. It was one of the God of Wars. I think it was God of War 2 or God of War 3. Was released on the PS2 when the PS3 was like 6 months in.
Yeah. Yeah, which was surprising, and it definitely was God of War 2. But
again, the PS3 was honestly, it sold like garbage. It was honestly the worst selling console at that time, and it was hard to program for. So people are like, that's why it fed so long in the gutter, because it was $100 more than the than the Xbox 360. It was hard to develop for, so the games actually ran worse on it. It wasn't until like 3 years into it that it actually managed to start picking up steam.
Yeah. But no, like, and that's the thing. It's like, for me, like, I look at like really bad horror stories for video game development. Dreamcast. I strongly feel, guys, that Sega would still be in the mix right now, whooping ass, if it wasn't for that game or that system coming out in 1999, September 9th, 1999. That was
they wouldn't have survived. They would. The thing is they were going bankrupt, and that console was their last hope to make any money to survive the next quarter. If they waited, they would have been bankrupt before they released it.
You don't think that they would have came out like right before fucking the Sony PlayStation and be like, hey, so we're gonna have, you know, our DVD thing as well on top of the internet, because Sony had the PS2 had the internet capabilities as well, but it was never on the level of the Dreamcast right away. Dreamcast, especially with Phantasy Star Online, things like that, it was whooping ass. But the thing is like, you know, if that came out at a time where people are like, listen, I have a whole family to entertain. I can't just go get a fucking video game system and be okay with that.
Well, the benefit of the PS2 was it wasn't just internet, it was a DVD player. And it was a cheap DVD player.
Yeah.
That's why it sold as well as it did, because, oh, guess what? Yeah, I don't want to play games. Wait, this thing plays DVD? It's like $200 cheaper than a DVD player? Okay, cool. That's everything that we fucking want. Hey, kids, play games. Oh, I want to watch a movie. Okay, watch a movie. It was the quote-unquote all-in-one console that Microsoft tried to fucking do years later. But, like, again, it wouldn't have survived. Like, nobody knew what the PS2...
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. Really appreciate that. Hopefully you had a good time playing your thing. And just to... because I don't want to have Alan waste any words here. So, really quick, just to let you guys know what we're talking about. We're talking about old games and essentially just dates or release dates that happen that end up kind of crippling the success of those particulars in the video game industry. But continue on what you're saying, though.
Nobody knew what the PS2 was going to do. Not even Sony. Sony is one of the most incompetent technological companies I've ever seen, and the only reason they are so successful is because of the failure of everyone around them.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
The only reason. The PS2 was not just a good console. It was better than anything the competition had at the time. And it had a DVD player, which means that it was, for your money, it was the better console. Because what came out around the same time? The Xbox, which nobody fucking knew what the fuck Microsoft was doing. Yeah. Microsoft just shat out a box after they literally... You say that the fucking the PlayStation took for the Dreamcast. The Xbox is the Dreamcast 2.
Yeah, essentially.
Literally. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. Literally, like I was just gonna say like the same thing with you, because I feel like Xbox is like the stealer of all things, because like they've stolen a lot of shit. It was fucking ridiculous.
If you look back in the past, apparently what happened was Microsoft wanted to buy Sega, and the stipulation was, we'll buy you and give you better technology to make a better console. Sega said no, because they didn't want a Japanese developer's not gonna get bought up by an American publishers. Like, that's just never gonna fucking happen. So they decided, well, we'll just make our own console. That's why there's so many Dreamcast games that got ported to the Xbox original, because they basically just said, fuck it, we'll take it and make it ourselves. We have way more money than you do. We'll make a better console. And then Halo came out, and that's why they're a contender.
Yeah, which is really weird considering the fact that it's like, yeah, I mean, like, there's room for everybody to succeed, but yeah, we still gotta be like that, you know, the big dick fucking, like, I'm gonna beat you, you know, I don't know, it's like really weird.
Yeah, console wars were a thing. Honestly, the console wars raged until the 360 and PS3 came out. When Nintendo backed out and said, we're doing our own thing, everyone realized, why are we fighting over the pie? There's enough pie for all of us. We're just gonna be friendly competition versus gutting each other. That's why when people are quote-unquote yelling at each other about consoles, y'all don't remember what it was like. You would start fights. Like, there would be fights between what consoles you had.
Yeah, which is stupid. But
I know, but I loved it. Oh, it was the best. Being a Nintendo fanboy when Sega was burning, you do not know the feeling of being so right and the whole world just being behind you being right. It is the best feeling buying a Nintendo game knowing that Sega was burning. It was fucking amazing.
That's a big thing too. Is like considering just like wars in general with other people. Like I mean, I'm pretty sure there's food wars with McDonald's and Burger King. You know, like there's a big one with wrestling. Yeah. Like right now it's WWE versus AEW, but back in the day it was WCW versus WWF, and it was one of those craziest things where it's like when WWF won that war, it was like, oh shit, we won. Wait, fuck. So like I'm not excited anymore. You know, it's like. Like, if something happened today and, like, there was just one umbrella that owned all video games, we would all play the fuck out of them and everything, too, but there is money to be lost. I'm pretty sure there's a lot. I mean, I'm so curious what the numbers are when people buy two different games on, or two of the same games on two different consoles. Like, because I don't know if you did that back in the day. I know I had GTA 4
I would always look
on
up
both.
numbers.
Yeah, you did?
Oh yeah, I always looked up numbers. It's very difficult when it comes to movies. You have to watch Mojos and then all the other random stuff that keeps track of it because they release the numbers. When it comes to video games, unless they're breaking records, you really don't know. So I try my best. VG charts was I think the best one, but even then, that wasn't 100% accurate. The best way to sum it up is, and I know it's gonna sound weird based on everything I've ever said in my life leading up to it, but the better the reviews, the better the sales tend to correlate. If a game is good, it tends to sell better.
That doesn't sound too weird. If the game's good, it's going to do good.
That doesn't happen in movies. Transformers gets review bombed and makes billions of dollars.
Yeah, man. Like, but that's the thing, though. Like, it's so funny considering that, like, you know, with games, word of mouth is so much more solidified. Like, with movies,
it's more
there'll be
important.
word of mouth, but it's like, do you have an audience before your initial release? You know what I mean?
That's you have good advertising. Like, advertising is important for both. But a movie will die if it doesn't get proper advertised because of its budget. Video games? Okay, they're sleeper success. Look at Tekken. Tekken is one of the most successful fighting game franchises of all time. I don't think there's a goddamn person in this chat that's ever played Tekken.
No, true. There's very, very little. I mean, especially when because they got confusing with releases too. Like, look at that fucking Tekken Tag Tournament 2. It's like, wait, okay, so it's not 2, it's actually 7. But it's not the 7th one, but it's the second to the spin-off. Like, oh my god. Like, that's like if Mortal Kombat did, like, Deadly Alliance 2 instead of Deception. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Are we really going to talk shit about Mortal Kombat's release?
Yeah.
But this is a perfect segue to...
No, because that's the thing. Like, you know, we're talking about, like, you know, some of these video games getting, like, good word of mouth, and it's actually solidified. But with movies, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's your hype before the movie comes out? And there's one of those situations where, I mean, I don't know any other franchise that can have so many shitty movies, well, I mean, I only had 2, but technically they're not great movies, and they're fucking old. But yet still, there was so much hype surrounding this one fucking thing, this Mortal Kombat 2021. And yeah, dude, I gotta tell you,
it's a franchise people know. If Street Fighter, like the thing is when it comes to Mortal Kombat's a mainline franchise. Sorry, a mainstream franchise. Street Fighter is more of. Thank you for the follow. Is more of a not necessarily cult because people still like it, but it's one of those ones where it's like it's more of people in the fighting game community love the fuck out of it.
Yeah,
it's the best fighter in the fighting game community. But if you take like random person on the street, do you know who Street Fighter is? That Ryu guy with the headband. Yeah, that's probably the end of the list. Oh, do you know who Mortal Kombat is? Oh yeah, Scorpion's cool, it's Sub-Zero and all that shit.
Wow, you did 2 bad takes in just a minute.
What? Street Fighter is an extremely popular game in the fighting game community? What? How's that a bad take? What are you
You literally just asked if someone said, "Oh, what's Street Fighter?" Like, if you ask someone on the street, like, "What do you know about Street Fighter?" Oh, yeah, the Ryu, the dude with the headband. You're forgetting Ken, Chun-Li, Cammy, and Bison.
I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm just saying Mortal Kombat.
Why did you even say that?
Fuck you, Jet.
Also, the take like, oh, no one in the chat has ever played Tekken, one of the biggest fighting games there is.
I said it was the biggest fighting game ever. No one's like, I said it earlier. That's a huge fighting game, but you don't know anyone who's played it.
Why'd you ask in the chat? Oh, I bet no one here has played Tekken. Why would you say that?
Because again, it's one of those things where it's like it's sold a lot, but outside of the fighting game community, it doesn't get as much love as something like Mortal Kombat does. There are people that play Mortal Kombat and don't play any other fighting games ever. Just like with Smash.
You're talking American centric because like
then I'll specify to America centric then because that's what that is. Well, that's more where I know it's like with mainstream and stuff like that. When it comes to worldwide stuff like that, there's a lot of franchises like FIFA. FIFA is one of the best selling franchises worldwide. When it comes to America, not as much.
That's true. And like, here's the thing I'll say about just as far as Mortal Kombat goes or whatever. For me, I think that the way that they can, I mean, for one, it was like watching like MTV the game. Like it felt like Celebrity Deathmatch when you watched it. And it's like these characters are cool, but cool for North America, not cool for other places. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason why Kano looks like the fucking Terminator. There's a reason why Liu Kang looks like Bruce Lee, because there's many really great mixed martial artists all over the world, especially in Japan, etc.
He's
But
the most
like,
popular one, but
Bruce Lee is the motherfucker for America. Like that's the guy. I mean, I guess the only other person you could probably pick was probably Jackie Chan. I mean, but that's it. You know what I mean? They had
but like Jackie Chan is up there, but no, you're not. Bruce Lee, everybody knows. Even if you've never seen a Bruce Lee movie, you know Bruce Lee.
Yeah, so that's one of the things where it's like I can see how Mortal Kombat is the one here, because I know another thing too with Street Fighter, it feels very Capcom. I mean, even the fonts they use. I mean, it looks like you in Squadron in some menus. It looks like fucking so many other games. Contra, it looks like, and it's like I'm playing a Capcom game. When you play Mortal Kombat, though, you don't feel like you're playing a Midway game. You feel like you're playing fucking.
Nobody
Mortal
remembers
Kombat.
Midway, man.
Well, that's
maybe
the
Ruthless
thing,
in the chat because he's older than we are, but like Midway, I'm like, oh my fucking god, I forgot that existed.
Yeah, I remember when they died too in like 2008. I was like, what are they gonna do? And then it's like, okay, thank God, now NetherRealm Studios is gonna take this. Boom.
But Midway made a lot of other games. It wasn't just the Mortal Kombat. That's like the guys who made Mortal Kombat formed NetherRealm Studios, and that's how they managed to take themselves out of the squalor. But Midway made a lot of other games. It's just most people don't fucking remember that shit.
Yeah, but like I just remember just not being a guy who really, really enjoyed other games. So I see. I mean, granted, like someone can easily argue the fuck out of your point, but for me, it's like, it was hard for me to get into Tekken or Soul Calibur or fucking.
Oh, I fucking hate Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
the fact that that was a franchise that has like 7 games and it blows my mind. Because honestly, except for 2, I think they're all terrible.
Yeah. Oh, NBA.
Yeah, I've never done this.
Really? Except for, by the way, when I say 2, I don't mean the physical amount. I'm talking about literally just 2. Soul Calibur 2 is the only good one.
Blazing says, can you remind Nick and Alan more that Hisoka's bungee gum is the properties of both rubber and gum?
That is true.
Hisoka's
bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Dude, Hisoka would be great for Mortal Kombat DLC.
What the fuck is... I'm so confused. What is that? What anime were you guys talking about like a couple of days ago that I wasn't here for?
Well, no, that's Hunter Hunter,
the one you're watching, Hunter Hunter?
Yeah, Hisoka's that clown, the pervert.
Oh, okay.
I don't blame you. It's been a while since you watched it. It was like,
it's been a while. And what it is, I'm literally just watching Dr. Stone right now, and I'm like, why does that sound familiar? Is that something from the anime I'm watching right now? But no, like again, I gotta get now that I have a bit more free time, I definitely gotta get back into Hunter Hunter.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, guys. Like for me, and I guess it's time to do that review. But yeah, this is something I'm usually against, like when we do reviews, but because usually I have like a little bit of a bullet list of things to discuss. But for the most part, we shoot the shit about the movies, and I think our conversations feel more legitimate and natural when we do that.
Yeah.
However, this one I gotta be a bit more careful about because you'll notice that there's lots of structure as far as this review goes when we start getting into it. And the reason why I've kind of like written out certain things in that particular way is because everywhere I look, dude, I'm watching reviews and hearing reviews and reading ones.
It's so all over the place. People are just like, great, terrible. But then people are like, it's good with problems. I'm like, okay, like it feels so divisive because I think it's like, I don't know what people, not necessarily what people were expecting. It's just, I don't think the movie itself is very disjointed, I think.
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like this movie is being rated on a scale that they were so not intending. Like it's not, like for instance, like I'll even bring this up. It's like, for me when I watch when I watch reviews, when I do reviews, what I typically do is like I grade on the scale that the thing's meant for. So for instance, like I might hate Avengers Endgame, and I say it many times, but I give it some points on just the fact that if you're a fan of Endgame, there's a slight chance you'll like it. La La Land's another one. I fucking hate La La Land. But the thing is, though, it's like if you're a person that the audience is for, you're gonna have a fucking wonderful time at La La Land. And then I'm in a situation like this, and it's like, because I mean, another thing too, consider all the other video game movies that are out there. There's a lot of video game movies that don't read the audience. Look at Double Dragon. You know what I mean? Look at fucking...
I forgot that existed.
Yeah, like it's fucking ridiculous. And look at most of the Resident Evil movies. You know what I mean? Like those are pretty fucking bad because they don't read the audience.
Almost all of them. The thing is...
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your point.
Well, no, because like my only point is here, and then you can... I mean, I'm sure you can have a lot to say about this because I'm going to bring you up heavily in this next fucking thing. But like, I look at movies like Warcraft and fucking the first Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil 2, all that shit. But then, like, the biggest one I want to bring up, that, and not to, like, distract the review, but Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. Like, I don't like Sonic the Hedgehog. But that movie for a Sonic fan is fucking like almost perfect. Like that's how you do a video game movie, and it's not because they're trying to do really amazing stories or the most funniest jokes ever. It's fun for Sonic fans. That's who it's made for. If people reviewing this movie give Sonic a fucking bunch of praise, you're full of shit because Sonic makes way less sense than this movie is, and Sonic's great. You know?
Whenever I watch a movie, whenever I go into it, I'm like, look, I don't know what I'm necessarily expecting, but whatever you present to me, I need to be able to at least enjoy it in some way, shape, or form. Is this a dialogue-heavy movie, One Night in Miami? Make sure that the acting is great and fantastic, and it was. Is this an action movie? Then make sure the fighting is okay. Is this a comedy? Then I need to know whether or not you're doing it. So if I'm watching something and I hate all your jokes, I hate your movie. I don't care about the cinematography or whatever. It's like, no, this is a comedy and your comedy sucks. I'm out. So when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, even if I don't know what to expect, I'm like, present me a plate and let me enjoy the plate. If I don't, then I won't enjoy your movie. So for instance, Sonic, you brought it up. I am, not only do I hate Sonic, I am the biggest Sonic hater you've ever fucking met. If Terry ever pops up to one of these shows, we've had screaming matches of how much I hate that franchise. The franchise that hasn't had a good game in 20 fucking years managed to make a movie that was actually surprisingly good because they focused on the character, they focused on world building, they had fun doing it, and yeah, they were playing around with a lot of the lore and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it was a straightforward story from start to finish. It had exciting moments and interesting characters that didn't feel like they were overplayed, didn't feel like they were too stupid to be alive, didn't take away from the movie, and yeah, it was a great Pokemon Detective Pikachu. That's the thing. I don't hate Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I watched it when I was a kid, but I'm not in love with it like Jen and some of the other people are. So walking into it, I wasn't sure what to fucking expect, but it gave me characters that I enjoyed. It gave me a world that was interesting. It felt lived in. It felt like someone actually put some care and effort. And again, if we're gonna start the Mortal Kombat fucking review, I feel the same goddamn way. I don't care what anyone in the chat says. I fucking love this movie.
Yeah, me too.
From start to fucking finish.
Yeah, and because that's the thing, and like, not to bring up like other movies again or whatever the fuck, but it's just kind of like, yeah, you know, it depends on what you're satisfied. If you're a person who's a Mortal Kombat fan like me who wants to see 12 fucking video games come to life in a span of an hour and 40 minutes, then you get the fuck out of that in this movie. Like, you get so much of that. And that's the thing. It's like, it might, yeah, it's imperfect.
This is made for fans.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like it's incomprehensible, but like the things people are saying, was the CG bad? Yes. A lot of it was. But what were they doing with the CG? A lot of it was the blood CG that I noticed. What were they doing? Stabbing people in the fucking head mid-choreographed fight while bashing their head into a wall. I'm like, yeah, that's the shit I want to see in a Mortal Kombat thing. I want to see people getting punched and blood flying out. And yeah, it's a low-budget movie. I think it was under $100 million. But you know what they did? And I literally said this with the Shang-Chi fucking review, so I'm not talking on my ass. If you're doing cool shit, I don't care what your budget is. Just do cool shit. Everything they did was cool. Every fight in this movie was fantastic. And for a Mortal Kombat fan, I was freaking out at moments. There's a point where they're fighting, and Liu Kang stands right beside Kung Lao. And I start giggling, girls clapping, going, "It's a Shaolin monks! It's a Shaolin monks! Shaolin monks are standing right beside each other."
So fucking cool.
I don't think, like, who played, like, me and Nick fucking love Shaolin monks. That game is pretty good, but, like, no one but fans are going to get excited. It's like when people who saw Captain America standing next to Iron Man. They just stood next to each other. But people in the audience were freaking out because their favorite heroes are standing next to each other. Me and Nick were the same way. Our favorite fucking character. I fucking hate Liu Kang. I think he's the most boring motherfucker in the world. But Kung Lao's the coolest motherfucker.
Yeah, but well, here's the thing, because we'll get into budget stuff, by the way, in a little bit, Julian. And by the way, I appreciate the bits. And also, like, we'll definitely talk more about that particular thing. Because, like, for me, the budget, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's $96 million is a lot of money. So it's not like
I said low, and I also said under $100 million. That's pretty low in comparison to the kinds of movie that this was clearly not necessarily trying to compete with, but it was doing. Like, it is a low Shaolin Showdown. Oh yeah, that anime. But it is a relatively low budget. Like under 100 million, especially for rated R. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing. I want to get Jed's opinion on this really quick, too, because I don't know if you felt like this was great for the fans, Jed, and I consider you at least somewhat halfway there as far as being a fan. I think that your opinion matters a bunch. I'll say a bitch. Holy shit. I think you're...
Damn, she's going to kill you so
hard.
I'm
not calling her a bitch. I'm not calling her a bitch, right? I almost fucked up because I'm seeing...
I'm playing with a box cutter right now. I'm not afraid to use it on you.
But, shit, some cabal shit happening right now.
But did you... I mean, we'll get into ratings and all that shit later on and everything, but, like, I don't want to waste people's time as far as what we think, because that's going to be the synopsis of this entire fucking conversation. Jed, did you feel satisfied as somewhat of a Mortal Kombat fan?
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and say I didn't like this very much.
Because here's the thing, did you
honestly the fighting was fine, but you got to remember, like, the first time I watched it was in bootleg, and we just finished watching it on like HBO again, where I actually got to see the fight scenes. To be honest, the only one I actually really liked was the first and last fight. The rest of them were just kind of boring to me.
And I can tell you
I actually fell asleep during like halfway point in this movie because I was actually kind of bored.
Well, because on that too, because I'm going to focus hardcore on this. Mortal Kombat, the first one, 1995. Did you feel satisfied as a Mortal Kombat fan from that?
Oh yeah, that one's actually just crazy and stupid. I had fun with that one. I love that movie.
See, I love that movie too, but like I feel like I loved it because it was a good movie in general. But like as far as things I like from Mortal Kombat shit, this didn't satisfy me like the new one did. Because I feel like the old one, and I know like that's probably an unpopular opinion because people think the first one's the best video game movie of all time.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But honestly, Nick, I agree with you. Not only do I think that, I like these movies almost the same. I think I like the new one a little bit more because I think the fighting's way better. But again, they have technology that can make the fighting way better. But in all honesty, the first one satisfied me as a fan when I watched it years later because I wasn't fucking 5 years old when it came out. I didn't watch it in fucking theaters when I was 5. I watched it years later. But then this one also gave me it. But at the end of the day, this one gave me more because there have been more games since the original release. There's only like 2 or 3 games. So there's only so much they can take. But like people saying like arguing like a lot of stuff, I'm like, there's not that much difference between the flows of the movies. They're both doing very similar things that you could almost call it a remake, except for a lot of the different stuff, but it's very, very similar. But it satisfied me. There are things in this movie that I did not think that they would even do. Like, there's a fucking... Dude, I literally laughed my ass off at the fucking Kano jump joke. With the fucking leg sweep. I was like, did they actually fucking do that? Like, yeah. I cannot believe they made that joke. Because that's some bullshit! Doing the same move over and over again, go fuck yourself!
And then the fact he's getting mad about it, but then it's like, well, hey, I'm doing the same thing, plan for it. It's like, fuck. Like, this is... I've had this conversation with Anthony when we were playing the game against each other. Like, I'm like...
I've had this conversation with friends of mine because they know that I don't block low. I'm bad at blocking low!
Yeah. So, it's really cool. But, like, I gotta tell you guys, like... and this is not just... I mean, because I'm nostalgic for this, so I'm gonna love the original... more than anything forever. But let's fucking finally be honest about this movie. It's not that great. Like, you know, especially for Mortal Kombat lore. I mean, this movie's PG-13. They don't do the fatalities. Art Lean's in this movie. He's not even in the game at all. The Reptile is actually Reptile. This was before Reptile was an actual creature. He was a ninja back in these days, and they completely fucked that up with some bad CGI. You know, Sub-Zero doesn't even have a choreographed fight scene. In the first movie, he doesn't act. He just, like, makes his balls cold.
Yeah, and it's at the end of the day, they're very similar kinds of movies where it's like people. I remember someone saying in the chat, "Oh, there's no tournament." There wasn't a tournament in the last one. Do you remember the plot of the first one? It was tournament in name only. A tournament fight, but then people were fighting in different places. Where does Johnny Cage fight Scorpion? Does he fight him in a sand pit with a bunch of people clamoring? No, he fights him in the fucking woods. I don't know what fucking tournament ever does that.
On the island.
Yeah, but it's on the island, like.
The island where the Mortal Kombat's taking place.
But again, it's tournament in name only. This is a similar situation where they don't call it a tournament. They have the fights at almost the same thing, where they separate the fighters in different areas. But the only difference between...
They literally said in this movie, like, this isn't the tournament.
Yeah, like, that's the only difference between them. But the way the fights happen, it's like one is called a tournament and one isn't. But it's the exact same kind of situation where they're fighting. Where it's like, this one is like they're planning clearly for a sequel, but I don't see that necessarily as a problem. Like, Mortal Kombat not having a tournament isn't a killer. Like, look at the Mortal Kombat 9 reboot. It's called Mortal Kombat. There's only a tournament for, like, the first third of the game. The rest of it is different things going on.
People get captured. Like, after Chapter 4, there's people that are literally dying outside of, like, the tournament to the point where Raiden's like, this has become way worse than what it's going to be. They're trying to kill the characters who fucking haven't fought yet, blah, 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 which is essentially what they did in the first movie and what they did in this. But, like, to Jet's point, I will say that, you know, for them to do such a... Because, like, here's the thing. Yeah. And this goes back to the budget where you're referring to that I totally agree with, even though Julie made a point. But it's like, dude, like, there's not a big enough budget, by the way. I mean, it's a lot of money, but you got to consider that they're doing...
For what they were doing?
Yeah. It's a lot, and paying all these guys, and then all the choreography, and then all the fucking special effects, and all the shit they gotta do. And then it's like, okay, like, if you're gonna do a thing that's like a tournament, obviously they can't just have like a we're gonna watch fucking Triller's Mike Tyson versus whatever.
You just want to watch it like, okay, people join up, now fight, and then it's
like, won the rain, and then like how are they gonna edit that? Like, so it's like, okay, scoop his body parts out, next fight, round 2. You know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, aren't what they're doing is basically like it was starting to be a tournament and then something happened, so therefore they were at the tournament and then it got fucking crazy and then something else happened. Therefore, the tournament still started, but then they had other things in plan.
Yeah, but again, it was almost the same.
Which goes on to the rest of the story of Mortal Kombat.
But again, even in was it Shaolin Monks? Shaolin Monks, like there's a fight scene where all the characters are fighting all the bad guys, which is exactly the opening of Shaolin Monks. The Mortal Kombat's very loose when it comes to tournaments. Like ridiculously loose. The fact that there's even a tournament in the entire lore of that franchise is kind of doesn't really exist.
Well, here's the thing: like, there's only a tournament in the first 2 games, but in 3, the world's over. Shao Kahn got loose, and everything's a fucking mess. MK4, they are invading Kai and Raiden's little areas where they have all their ninjas hanging out, just trying to stay away from everybody. Then you got Deadly Alliance. Liu Kang's trying to work out and do some yoga, and they fucking break his neck.
Yeah, because Liu Kang's a loser. But look, like at the end of the day, I feel like we're defending this movie so much. But honestly, like, look, I'm not gonna sit here and argue every single nitpick. If you like this movie, cool, let's have some fun. If you don't, okay, let's have a conversation. But telling me that the movie from 1995 is better in every way, to me, I'm sorry, it's not. It's good, but honestly, I like the movies about the same. I just like this one a little bit better, and I'm gonna go into why I liked it a little bit better. I liked all the characters on screen, even the main character who I felt like didn't get that much development. I still liked it because I'm like, okay, you know what? It's simple, but it's enough that's going on. Every single fight in this movie to me was good. There were some better than others, but there wasn't a bad fight. There wasn't a time where I'm like, oh, that's really up close. Oh, you just went cheap. Like, no, every fight was good. The way the biggest criticism is how they changed a lot of the characters getting their abilities, but I actually like that. The change, I'm not going to go into it, but they basically changed a lot of how these people got their powers. But I like that because it fit within the world they were making. This is an adaptation of the Mortal Kombat universe. They're going to change a lot of stuff up. And I liked all the changes. And it's like, yes. But the thing is, let's be real here. Mortal Kombat is not this set in stone fucking everything super accurate. Shit changes between games. Yeah. Like, let's be fucking real here. Like, the Mortal Kombat lore is not consistent. But what did this give me? This gave me cool fights. This gave me interesting characters. This gave me, like, a forward progression. It's a simple story. I wish they focused more on the characters, especially in the second half, but I still got a lot out of there. It gave me shit that I've always wanted to see in the movies. It called out a lot of the dumb shit in the universe, and it gave me hope that a sequel could fix a lot of these problems and make it closer to some of the games. But like, it gave me a good movie. At the end of the fucking day, this is a good video game movie. I don't care about all these fucking nitpicks and stuff like that. This was a good video game movie, and I don't have to apologize for it.
Yeah, because that's the biggest thing.
No one's telling you to, sir.
No, because they're sitting there going, because, man, I like this fucking movie, but people are telling me that it's bad because the CG's bad. I don't care that the CG's bad.
Are you sure they're actually telling you, you better not fucking like this movie.
No, there are people that legitimately say, there are people, I'm a moderator fucking Double Toasted fan page, so I see every goddamn post y'all do. There are people giving this a fuck you because they changed up. Yeah, Mileena looks like shit. I thought she would look better in the movie. I don't think she ever really looked good in the... It looked bad there. That's the only thing where I'm like, that was bad. But again, no movie's fucking perfect. Let's be real here. No movie is fucking perfect. Every movie's gonna have its problems. But I think this is a good movie. Honestly, like as far as ratings, this is easily 7 out of 10. Easily. 3.5 out of 5, whatever you want to go with. Because I want to watch it again. I literally went and watched fight scenes multiple fucking times. I liked what little story there was enough to keep me going from start to finish. It's like a Godzilla versus Kong. Is there this big deep story? No. Guy wants to go home. Godzilla wants to fuck with him. That's a plot. This, hey, Mortal Kombat's happening. Shang Tsung's a fucking asshole, so he's circumventing it. That's the story of half the Mortal Kombat games.
And I noticed that some people in the chat probably haven't seen it, the movie, and they probably don't even know the Mortal Kombat lore that much. So I'll go ahead and explain some of the synopsis is, even though we've already pretty much given. At least he's given his numeric rating, but like. The universe is basically at the beginning of the movie is revealed to be made up of many realms. The most known and focused are the 4 Adania, which is heaven, the nether realm, which is hell, earth realm, which you guessed it, earth, and then outworld, which is essentially the slums of the realms. But I like to refer to it as a realm ghetto. My friend used to say that shit back like when the old games came out.
Detroit.
Yeah. But there's like alluding, and as far as the other video games go, they don't really go into it here. But like as far as the other games go, they've alluded to like the existence of other realms. One of which is being a separate Earth realm that the current canon Justice League characters live in. By the way, just putting that out there, Warner Brothers. Okay,
yes, but the entire plot of the reboot was to destroy that game's existence.
Yeah, but
You know, they actually, you know, the Mortal Kombat 9 when he does the flashback, you actually see the MK versus DC shit.
you do. Oh,
Dude,
I
yeah,
never,
yeah.
I never
That's what I'm
looked at
saying. The plot of Mortal Kombat 9 is to stop Mortal Kombat from DC happening. That's a joke I've been saying for years.
But that's the thing. So basically, all these realms have entry to each other through portals. Portals can be manifested. People can be summoned to these realms, or they can have natural summoning, such as dying and going to Edenia or the Nether realms. So essentially, if you die, you go to hell, and die, go to heaven, blah, 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 the whole fucking thing. Now, the movie starts off with a Chinese family who gets murdered by a Japanese man with some ice powers. Now, by the way, that's a big thing that I really liked. I don't know if you noticed this, Alan, but like when they're talking, there's like subtitles right underneath the subtitles where it says like,
yeah,
like
Chinese, Japanese. Which
yeah,
I'm like, I didn't
that.
actually notice that. I was wondering why they're specifying Chinese, but that's because they're different clans. Chinese versus Japanese, like antagonistic, is historical at this point.
Yeah, so the family gets killed, or whatever, and the baby that's left remaining there is the baby that basically gives off, continues the bloodline. Because me and Jeb first watched it in the bootleg, we thought that was Cole Young, but if you watch the movie again and look and pay attention to the
it's a specifically female. I was wondering, like, is that because I thought, that's a descendant, but like, well, it is kind of, yeah.
Well, because it happened in 1617, so like this is 400 fucking years ago, or fucking more than that, 430 or something like that. But the thing is, though, is like that happened. And I'm cool with that, but like victimized Scorpion basically dies, and he's from the Shiryu. Now the Shiryu, if you know about the movies, or I mean the video games, the Shiryu has been at war with the Lin Kuei, which is Sub-Zero's clan, for fucking decades and decades and centuries and blah blah blah. The thing is though, Shiryu has definitely killed a lot of people, but they used to work with Lin Kuei. So the fact that Sub-Zero killed him, and then he's like, I'm doing this for the Lin Kuei, and you don't see a whole lot of other Lin Kuei members around him, especially when we go to present day. That's where some of my problems lie, because you got an hour and a half, and I know it's very hard to tell these stories or whatever, right? But the fact that we're all feeling bad for Hanzo, aka Scorpion, and then he just engulfs in flames and goes to hell right away. It's like, for one, when his soul go to hell and not like his actual fucking body, like that was kind of strange. And then to like move directly to Cole Young, I was like, well, I mean, maybe we don't need a lot of explanation, which is cool. I like the economic editing that we don't have to sit there like, if this was fucking Justice League, it'll be 4 hours before we get to even see it. But I mean, did you have an issue with that? Like, just how quick and like, I don't know.
Not necessarily, because for me, I love the first half. I love the first half. To me, like when they get to Raiden's temple in the second half, the last 40 minutes comes up. That's where I felt they rushed a lot of the story, the characters, and everything just to get to the ending. But the first half, I'm like, they took its time. They established the characters. I don't want to say they developed, because I feel like some characters got more than others. So I don't want to sit there and say they developed all the characters, but they established the characters where I'm like, what's this character's deal? I'm like, okay, he's generic, main character, has a family, and he's fighting, and he's not sure which side he's on. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then introducing all the characters and just getting the lore, as much lore as we needed to just continue watching this movie. And to me, it was like, hey, random audience member, you don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, so here's Mortal Kombat. Hey, random fan, are you paying attention? Because that was Nightwolf.
Yeah.
Because that was Kotal Khan. Like, are you paying attention to the images? Because that's for you.
Yeah, that's Baraka. That's a Tarkatan fucking monster from Outworld.
They showed Baraka, I think, at one point. Yep. That was for us.
Or Kentaro with the fucking knives. He has the machetes. You know what I mean? Like the size when they go to Outworld and they're walking around. I love that shit. But that's the thing. It's like, to do things like that economically. Like Mileena is doing something as simple as she's just walking, trying to catch up to Shang Tsung so she can tell him all the shit that's going on. Meanwhile, we see people running around, no house to live. They're carrying fucking baggage. We see the Kentaro thingy. We see all these other characters, and yet they don't have to like focus on each person. It's like, hey, if you're a fucking Mortal Kombat fan, we just did 4 things when other movies would have just did 1, and we did it in 1 minute.
It's a very difficult thing this movie had to do, because there's a lot of characters on screen, and it had to give you enough for you to recognize them and be like, that's that dude, that's that dude. Now, this is what I was saying. This is for fans, because as soon as, headband, monk, boring ass motherfucker comes up, I'm like, that's Liu Kang. I don't need an introduction, because I know who that is. But if you don't know what the fuck this series is, you're like, is that Ryu? Like, you might actually say that's Ryu.
Yeah,
like,
and there's situations too, like right away he throws a fireball at Kano, and it's like, okay, like Kano's gonna be like, what the fuck is that? But we don't have to wait for him to like have this big fight and get into his aura, and then now can summon a fireball. It's like, no. He can throw fireballs. You guys know this. We know this. Let's move the fuck on. They do it in 5 seconds, y'all. As soon as Liu Kang
Which is
comes
why I
out,
think a lot of people were like, "This isn't as good." But like, it's so weird. It's like I've watched the Mortal Kombat the original multiple times, and it's like it's very similar because Mortal Kombat's very simple. It's like I'm not like it's weird because like I don't know exactly what people were kind of expecting with this because I think what people wanted was like. It was a good movie, Jet. That's what I mean. Because I loved everything they did with the characters. Like when Kung Lao shows up and they kind of show it's like, yeah, Liu Kang and Kung Lao care about each other and they respect each other. And there's a lot of cool stuff going on. But when he shows up, I've always liked Kung Lao. Kung Lao's always been way cooler in every way, shape, or form than Liu Kang was. But seeing their camaraderie, seeing them working together was really good. Like Jax's CG was always kind of off, but seeing what they did with his arms, I'm like, that was fucking cool too. As somebody that was a fan of the character design, like I never really played as Jax, but I always thought Jax was cool as hell.
Well, see, that's the thing, because we'll get into Jax right now in a minute, too, because that's a very, like, I'm so curious to see Jet's opinion on that. But the Cole Young thing, look, I don't like Cole Young either, I'm going to be honest, I don't. But the thing is, like, we had to have a character kind of go through this. Jet, do you still feel that they should have picked somebody else to have us live vicariously through, or do you think that Cole Young was actually kind of
Give me 1
important?
second.
Okay. But yeah, well, like, I'll say my piece. For me, I think that, you know, you could have had another character, because here's the thing, too. And this is where I'm going to get really fucking nerdy. But Cole Young, essentially, I still think is not even Cole Young still. And the reason why I say that is because his weapons that he has, those are weapons that are used by Hasso Hao and Dario in the Mortal Kombat Deception game. And as well as his look, the way he looks like Mavado. He should have been fucking Mavado. Like, Mavado's history, essentially, is, like, fighting. He used to win fights, and he used to be a hitman. That was his, background. Now, granted, you take out the hitman part because obviously we want to have like a character that we live through. But why can't Cole Young just reveal himself as being one of these other characters that do exist?
Oh, easy. You just answered your question.
I'm back, by the way.
You just answered your question. That character that exists. You have a character that exists with history and backstory. You're gonna have people because I remember there are people that are mad that Reptile was. They called him Reptilian. They didn't call him Reptile. But
that's true. You're right. That's true.
He was a reptilian creature. Everyone's like, oh, they screwed up my character. I don't know who Mavaro is because I never played Deception. But the fact that Cole Young is a random motherfucker that doesn't exist means if we fuck him up or we could kill him in the next movie, it's like maybe not because we established enough about him, but it could have been a situation where he dies and we get everyone else together. But no, they kept him going. But like, you could do whatever you want with that character. You can give him a history. The thing is once you take an established character, you have to you either ignore it completely or you basically have to just do that. And it's like for people, there's so much for fans here. You needed something for new audiences.
Yeah, and Jed, I'll reiterate my question from earlier, but like, do you feel like do you still feel that Cole Young wasn't really necessary for us to live vicariously?
No, he wasn't. He was boring as fuck. He was every other fucking goddamn action movie here just put in fucking Mortal Kombat. He was boring as shit. He was not needed in this whatsoever. I hated him.
So who would you put in replacement of that? Johnny Cage?
You might as well put fucking Johnny Cage because at least Johnny Cage is a fucking character. Why the fuck is he in here? Just have this character has a family just so he doesn't hit on the other established relationships in fucking Mortal Kombat. That's obviously why they fucking put him in here, and because obviously what someone else said. Oh, like they didn't want a white savior lead. Well, if they didn't want that, make Liu Kang the fucking main character again.
Liu Kang? Oh, wait, sorry, we're having a conversation about boringness and you brought up Liu Kang as the main fucking character.
And you would defend Cole Young. You would defend Cole Young.
I would defend Cole Young. Because Cole Young actually has an emotion at some point.
Like every other
cooler.
acting movie star.
Oh, I'm not gonna sit here and have a conversation with someone who thinks Liu Kang is not a fucking. No, you say some dumb bullshit. There's no fucking way.
No, I actually agree. I think Liu Kang is not as boring.
No,
I think
Liu Kang is the most boring motherfucker in the entire Mortal Kombat universe. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I've been waiting 2 days.
More interesting. The monk who got to train the goddamn the temple and learn how to use fucking fireballs was way more interesting.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, no. I waited 3 fucking days. I waited 3 days to make this fucking goddamn man. Liu Kang is the most boring character in the entire Mortal Kombat universe. In a world in which you have fire demons, guys who can fire fucking ice, lightning fucking gods.
That's just you being a hater. That's just
no.
Ain't nothing wrong with Liu Kang. Ain't nothing wrong.
In a world in which we have guys that can fire fire demons, ice gods, fucking thunder gods, eternal fucking gods, cyborgs, dude with metal arms. Who is the fucking guy that is the quote-unquote main character of this franchise? This boring-ass fucking mom.
The one who can do bicycle kicks.
The one who can do bicycle kicks. Guess what? Kung Lao is a way more interesting character with a way more interesting moveset in every way, shape, or form. I don't fucking know why Liu Kang even matters. You have two cops on the fucking payroll of this fucking franchise that are way more interesting.
Kung Lao didn't get katana booty. Guess who did?
some
Liu Kang.
bullshit. He deserves it more. Kung Lao is a cool hat.
No, here's the thing though. Liu Kang
And
can,
no, he
can
ain't got
summon.
no fucking booty. So guess what?
Man,
Liu Kang
I want
wins.
to point out they had to give him bullshit to make him more interesting. But he's the boring fucking silent monk that never shuts the fuck up.
Well, yeah, you sound like Kano.
Kano was like my spirit animal.
I love Kano in this movie so much. But Liu
I
Kang.
thought-
And I will say this: Kano's the only good character in this entire fucking movie. And there, I said it. Kano's the only good character in this movie because he's the only one cracking jokes. Because guess what? Mortal Kombat
Cracking
is
jokes
kind
doesn't
of
make you a good
stupid.
character.
When you're fucking that's why the one from 1995 was so much fucking better than this one. It was campy and stupid and had a lot of fun. The only person who actually made this fun was Kano.
I'm sorry, but campy and fun doesn't make it a good movie. And yes, the fucking 1995 one was
It doesn't have
campy and
to
fun.
make it a
But
good
that doesn't mean it's a better movie.
At least it's fun. This
This
was
one
not fun.
actually decided to develop a lot of the world in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it didn't focus as much on the
No, it
characters as I
didn't.
wanted.
No,
It
it didn't.
developed the world and showed that this world was lived in. The fucking Mortal Kombat was just a bunch of random bullshit for the
It
entire
did not
thing.
develop no goddamn world.
The only fucking reason people like the original is because they can laugh at it.
How did this develop the world when there's only 4 goddamn sets? There's 4
developed-
places in
Well,
this
because they don't have
goddamn
enough money. They
built
don't
the
have enough
world-
money to do it.
But even then, it was fucking very
You got
conservative
the
with the
boxing
stuff that
ring,
they did
you got
use.
Sonya's house, and you got the temple. That's the only place. Oh yeah, don't forget the one place in the beginning with fucking not Liu Kang, but Scorpion and shit. They only got 4 sets in this goddamn
Again,
movie. It's so
the
boring.
discussion, the dialogue that's going on, that's like, yes, this shit's been going on for a while. There's a lot of stuff that's going on that established a lot of the other stuff that's going on within the world that the tournaments did exist. You still have a lot of stuff that this world feels lived in, whereas the original Mortal Kombat was just a random bullshit. The only reason people like it is because they can laugh at it. That's the only fucking reason people like the
Yeah,
original.
is that such a bad thing?
Yeah, when you're sitting trying to create something that's actually trying. That's
That's
actually
true, yeah.
pulling it off.
Was this actually trying? Because
Yes,
the
it
character
was.
development in this was
Because it takes a lot of
doo-doo
stuff
water.
that people have been
Doo-doo
asking
water.
for years.
I don't think it's doo-doo water. I think that like
The character development was absolutely doo doo water. You guys are talking
I
about
don't
like,
know how
oh yeah, we got
Scorpion had a great, like, not every character got developed in the exact same way, but every character got something.
The main
Whereas,
character-
like, it
the main
focused more on
character
Sub-Zero and Scorpion, like they always fucking do in every Mortal Kombat fucking interpretation. But I liked what they gave. It was simple development for simple characters, because guess what? Mortal Kombat is filled with simple characters.
yeah. No, you're right. Like,
And the thing is, you guys are talking about like people like, okay, non-fans probably won't get into this. Yeah, when you basically go past like all the character development, yeah, they're going to hate this. It's just like, okay,
Because again, we're establishing a lot of stuff that they want to do more movies about clearly. But again, it wasn't necessarily bad development. It just wasn't as
think
much
that's
as
why-
other stuff does that.
and so many characters were fucking wasted in this too. Oh my good golly god!
Nobody's crying. Half the characters no one's crying about. They introduced half those characters so that they could do what they had to do.
well, see, here's the thing. This is where, because so far,
The Tekken movies.
I
Is there
hate-
even,
I hate
wasn't
to
there
say
one
this.
Tekken movie?
I don't even know, but I will say, I have to say, this whole time, I've been on Alan's side. Here's the only fork in the road where I had to go against you as far as character development and as far as what they did here. And Jay, I'm going to have you go on. I'm just going to say this motherfucker's name. Raiden.
What?
Oh.
I'm sorry. I liked Raiden. I saw the Thunder God. I'm like, yeah, the Thunder God's kind of an asshole.
What the fuck was Raiden saying the whole
the fucking air? Like the thing is, when we watch this in bootleg, you do not like. Oh my god, I'm so glad you guys fucking waited to watch this on what was this HBO?
Yeah, this had to be on HBO Max.
Dude, I'm so glad most of you waited to watch this in fucking HBO because you couldn't understand a word fucking Raiden was saying. It was just like blah, 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 blah. What?
He doesn't say a lot in the movie, but Raiden is kind of an asshole. Anyone thinking he was a good
He is
person?
the worst. This is the worst fucking Raiden I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
You've not
seriously.
played a lot of the games.
No,
Because he's
No,
bad
like
at it.
literally, he is terrible in
He
this
is
fucking
terrible.
movie.
For one, you would think that a god would have aged a little bit. This motherfucker looks like a dude who like.
Yeah, no, the agent wasn't even the problem. It was the fact, like, oh, I'm not allowed to interfere. Motherfucker, you
And
were
then
interfering the whole
interferes.
time.
Yeah,
No, he doesn't. He doesn't interfere at all.
Yeah,
he
he
just,
teleports people all over the place and then takes them to
that's
the
not
void.
interfering. He's just teleporting
Yes,
them.
he is.
That's not interfering. He's just moving them.
And also, like, it is like literally the tournament has not started yet. He is allowed to interfere as much as he can, but he doesn't. He literally watches. Spoilers. Someone in the movie fucking died because he does not interfere. He can interfere at this point because they are breaking the rules.
Dude, numerous people
No,
died,
but
by the
again,
way.
he can't break. He can't also break the rules because eventually the Elder Gods are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" So all he did was move a bunch of people around. The same thing Shang Tsung was doing, but just again, he basically pointed out that like he's basically breaking them until the Elder Gods notice what the fuck's going on. But Raiden can't also do that too. So he's basically saying, I can teleport you guys, but I can't teleport everybody.
But don't you feel like that's a little shit?
But yeah,
like,
he
goes to
was,
touch
because
base?
he
No,
also
because that's what he did in
protects
the games. Like, this is the
also
character from the
protects
video
temple,
games.
therefore he's interfering. So his rules are so fucking bullshit. Somebody in the movie literally pointed out, I thought you weren't allowed to interfere. And then he doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't interfering. He's not going to sit there and be like, well, technically.
Then why have one of the characters pointed out that and then have him say nothing? Because it's definitely interference.
Because it's not. It's not interfering because he didn't actively fight anybody. He just moved a bunch of people around.
Exactly.
Neither did Shang Tsung, by the way.
But
Yes, he does.
By the way, I want to point out, like, that's how Shang Tsung was able to circumvent that, because Shang Tsung, the only person he took out, because he was like, I'm basically testing to see if the Elder Gods are doing their thing. He actually doesn't even throw a punch. He does one thing in the movie because he wants to test whether or not the Elder Gods actually don't give a shit.
But see, even that was silly. Like, he fucking electrocutes Kano, like, hits him so hard with some thunder shit that it sends him to the fucking ceiling. It's like, okay, if you can do that, can you just give me, have that same energy when a motherfucker's trying to kill my buddy Kun Lao? Can you fucking, like, I don't know, hit him with a little thunder thingy? Like, what the fuck? Like,
but again, he was like, he basically just did that as a parlor trick. Same thing with Liu Kang.
yeah, like, I don't know, man. Like, that shit's fucking annoying. And then, like, another thing too about Raiden is like, okay, so yeah, the bootleg to our fucking whatever badness, we can't understand the shit and we deserve that. I'm watching now in perfect fucking quality that I paid for. What the fuck is this motherfucker saying? What is he saying? He sounds like he was in the games. Like,
but it's actually funny because like I could actually understand when they weren't there, just like it was mumbling like crazy, like.
I don't know. I didn't have that problem. I didn't watch it with subtitles.
And by the way, I watched this fucking dude do an interview on like one of those fucking like Inquirer magazine Zoom call fucking things. He doesn't talk like that. So he did some WWE shit where it's like, oh, he's Chinese or whatever. So let's have him break the fuck out of English. Because
the thing is, you can understand Kung Lao, you can understand Liu Kang easily. But when it came to him, he was mumbling all his lines, just like, what are you saying?
I don't know. I didn't have that issue. It's not like I watched it with subtitles. I think I watched it without subtitles, but I didn't have a problem understanding him because he doesn't say a lot in the movie. He just kind of chills and does his own thing for a majority of it, like what Thunder God would do.
True, but it's just like, man, like, and then like you said, he doesn't say a whole lot. So I'm like, now I'm grading on a small ratio of, okay, we didn't say a lot of words, so how many of those words did I understand? And I know that you understood everything, but for me, if I don't understand like 50 lines out of 54, like, what the fuck? Like, and the biggest thing is that every line of dialogue he has is important because they're real building dialogue. I've literally rewinded and be like, okay, so does this make sense? Let me have the subtitles on, which I did the whole time, and it's like, oh, he said something really important. When I was like, literally, I was playing Plants vs. Zombies on my phone while this was going on. I'm watching the movie and playing the game because anybody else I can hear fine and I understand what's going on. When he talked, I'm like, I'm gonna open up another tab. I need to watch that one more time because what the fuck was that? Yeah. And it was like, and it was very, very important what he was saying. So it's like, if you're gonna have a guy saying important shit that moves the entire world forward, you better make this dude like understandable. What the fuck? And then like just the idea too that like he can teleport people. I have so many questions. Why didn't you teleport Scorpion? Why didn't you teleport the baby while it was crying? And by the way, speaking of the baby crying, let's go back to the beginning of the movie. Convenience, like a motherfucker here. Like Scorpion.
Yeah, that fucking baby was.
Yeah, I think the baby's superpower is super hearing because the baby knew to not cry when Sub-Zero is killing his dad, but when Sub-Zero left, it's like, okay, he's gone. All right, cool. Wah, wah.
Well, he got a line read, which is just wah, the giant board. Like, yeah, I feel like, look, again, at that point, I feel like that just, like, that to me, like, I didn't even notice that he just said that, but it's like, it doesn't necessarily break the movie. But as far as him teleporting, like, he knew at some point that What's-His-Face was going to die because of a prophecy. He just came too late. Because, again, it's like he's not omniscient. He does essentially his best, but also he doesn't care as much as you think somebody like him would.
Yeah.
It's always been Raiden's thing. Like, he'll help out, but he also doesn't really give him much. That's why him going evil Raiden in the games was not that much of a departure because he was kind of already an asshole.
So he helps out, but he's not allowed to be involved.
Because he's not allowed to directly kill motherfuckers like Shang Tsung's doing.
Well, like that's where I'll go back and look at some other shit too. Like for instance, the fucking MK1 movie, Christopher Lambert or Lambert, whatever you want to call him. He's from Highlander and whatnot. If you guys don't know, but he's done some like physical shit in other movies. So when he does even like slight little physical things in the first movie, like it feels pretty cool. And the fact that like he's very chill about his shit, so he's kind of cocky. It's like, okay, you can't entertain us physically because you're not getting involved and you're not doing a ton of CGI. but like your character is humorous in itself, and then in James Remar and MK Annihilation, yeah, the movie fucking sucks, but he's being a pervert, he's flirting with Jade, he's doing a bunch of crazy flips, he fought 2 reptiles, which I was a kid, I thought they were Noob Saibot, by the way, but whatever.
I kept saying it every time I looked at this movie, I was like, oh, is Noob Saibot gonna show up? Aw.
Yeah, I know, but Bihan, it's like, oh shit, like maybe...
No, because at one point I think he said you wanted the title from Eddie Tobias. I was like, oh shit, is that a reference to Noob Saibot? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But like that's the thing, is like, fucking James Remar in a terrible movie like MK Annihilation was fucking great because he's literally doing something. This Raiden is like, you're just this insane plot device, and that's fine because I know that that's how you've been in like the games too, especially one of my favorite games ever, MK9. But fuck, man, you could have did something here. Like, I mean.
Oh, that's a... Well, actually, not spoilers. It's skipped. I would also point out that Shang Tsung could do whatever the fuck he wants because Shang Tsung's not a god. He's just a sorcerer.
But he was also breaking the rules, in which then gods can get involved.
But again, breaking the rules when you're a sorcerer on the ground versus actually... Because Raiden's a god. If he does anything like what Shang Tsung was trying to do, the Elder Gods would immediately notice. That's why he can't get involved. He's basically just trying to distract them long enough to get the actual tournament going on. Shang Tsung doesn't give a fuck. He's pushing his luck as much as possible.
Because he doesn't even want the tournament. He's probably like, dude, like, it's going to be a situation where some...
Damn, immediate... Wow, I would say, wow, that's immediately like 50-50, but seems like somebody was guessing the poll. I wonder why.
Wait, what happened?
Someone did a poll in the chat. What do you think of this movie? Okay movie, mediocre movie. And it's like, yeah. Oh, 50-50. Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, Julian fucking put 2,000 goddamn points into it.
But into which one?
No, they're both the
knowing
same
him is probably it was a mediocre movie because he said that earlier. No, this is not the same as Resident Evil movies. If you think that, oh man.
Yeah, because I don't feel the same. But I will say, if you're a person who's not into the games, then maybe you'll see it that way, and I can't really disagree with that. But like for me, like my issues I had here is like, for instance, like even like I mean, like read the room for certain things. Scorpion being like this fucking weird premonition, like Flash fucking thing was weird. And the idea, too, that this whole Sub-Zero versus Scorpion thing is not really brought up. It's brought up in the very beginning, the first 7 minutes, and then it's brought up again at the very, very end, which, leads to a climax and everything. But for me, personally, I'm like, there's so much character development here, and granted, the big issue for people that they don't like that there's not a lot of character development. And, I disagree with that notion because it is an hour-and-a-half movie, but to the defense of them, you did spend 14 to 18 minutes on, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and you kind of didn't need to, have Scorpion.
I disagree because I think they're the most fleshed out. I think everyone going to get the most fleshed out characters in the entire movie. But I like that they were very because again, that's always my biggest issue with Mortal Kombat is we have to go through this same like 2 people story where it's like we got what we wanted. You got 2 fights with those guys. We're gonna establish these other characters, and my own thing is I wouldn't mind watching a 2.5-hour movie. Hell, I'll say this straight up. If they said, fuck it, we're doing a 4-hour thing, and they actually got a chance to establish all the characters, I would have enjoyed it, because, again, I liked what they did. To me, it's like, I want more as a fan. And I'm not as big a fan as Nick is. I might be somewhere basically in between Jed and Nick as far as fandoms. But, it gave enough. I just wanted more. And the fan service moments, every one of them was fantastic. And it's like, I hope that I think this was very successful. I wanted this sequel because they'll be able to fix up a lot of the problems. But people saying that this is a bad movie or it's like a mediocre to bad movie, it's like I fundamentally can't agree with that.
I can't either because Chaotic in the chat saying.
I sure can.
and the thing is, at the end of the day, Jet, I respect your opinion. I know we were screaming at each other. I respect your opinion.
That's because you start yelling at me first.
Wait, hold on. No, I think you start that shit, Jet. I ain't gonna lie.
No,
I started talking loud because that's how I am. I am black. I talk.
You can't use that right now.
I'm Arab. I'm stubborn as fuck, so we yell
Jen
too.
never in the history since I've known her has never used her black card, and she pulls out for Mortal Kombat.
No, she's used it a couple times. This is the first time I've heard it on.
I use it when I want to be funny.
We had a discussion the other day about swimming and shit. She used it.
I am so curious. I mean, later on we're gonna talk about how you use your black card for fucking swimming.
Dude, it was the funniest thing. I tried not to laugh because I just felt embarrassed.
But the thing is for me, and I mean we'll do we'll talk about.
I'll give Devin in the chat. It's a great movie for fans. It's a good movie for normals. It's like, but not everyone's gonna enjoy that stuff because it's like what it's taking from what it's doing isn't gonna hit everyone the same way. But at the end of the day, I can't sit here and say it's a bad movie. I can't in any way, shape, or form. I think there are things that are bad about it, but every time I was like, oh, the CG kind of sucks. Oh, that's why it sucks, because they're doing stuff that it would be impossible, almost impossible with practical effects, and extremely expensive with good
And that's
CG,
the
especially
fault
for
of
a
the
rated R
franchise,
movie.
not the movie. That's a fault of just what it is, because it's a fucking video
Yeah.
game, y'all. Like, I mean, you know, and like, here's another thing too. But because like once again, and I guess I'm just really leaning to my point, because I know like you know this is a long review already, and I can tell everything Alan's saying is very wrap upable. So it's like I feel like I want to end the review, but at the same time, there's so much shit
Fuck
to say.
it. We'll go for 40 minutes because Ryan said our review's gonna be longer than the movie. Let's go.
Let's go, yeah, because another character, and because right now I'm just.
Oh, I know who you're gonna bring up.
You
Right?
know
They did
exactly.
him wrong.
They did him so fucking wrong. Well, who knows if we're on the same guy, but I know Jet has to agree with me on this. Cabal.
I probably.
Oh, I was gonna talk about someone else.
Oh, we'll talk about that
Cabal?
too. We'll talk about that too. But Cabal, why the fuck am I watching Mortal Kombat mix up with Goodfellas?
This is
Look.
what I mean by bad. But this is what I mean by bad characters, bad character development. They just threw him in there, just all fucking willy nilly and shit. Just like, okay, you want to explain why? Like you're fucking there?
Yeah.
I mean, they give him a brief of like, "Hey, Kano, fuck with me." Look, in all honesty, I didn't watch like every trailer. That was a surprise for me. Cabal showing up, I was like, "Oh shit, they actually got him in the movie." I wonder what they're gonna do with him. But then they saw the dude with they got to do with Hammer. I'm like, "Oh, I know why they brought in a bunch of these who gives a fuck characters."
they're going
Look, I
die
know,
like a
Kirk, I know you guys like Cabal. I've never liked him. I've always felt like he was just kind of a random character in the roster.
Oh, you
He was always
hater.
a cool design.
I love
I
Cabal.
liked his design, but I never really cared about Cabal.
I love Cabal, but here's the thing about Cabal, is that he's from New York, technically, especially in MK9, or no, MKX really, when like everyone invades the apocalypse, you can tell he has an accent, like, hey, you Striker, what the fuck are we gonna do here? They fucking, they come over here killing all of us. I didn't think they were gonna do that in a fucking movie where he's in Outworld. Is there like a New Jersey in Outworld? And he's just walking
No,
around?
he's a human. He just was working for fucking because they paid him. Like same thing with
See,
Kano. It's like
that's what's so stupid about it. He tells Kano, hey, you want to fucking join over here? By the way, we're doing spoilers, so if you guys are gonna complain,
At this point, we're going into spoilers. Fuck
yeah,
it.
yeah, spoilers all over the fucking place. I don't give a fuck. So people in the chat, if you guys want to spoil some shit, you come in here, you fucking spoil everything. You know what I mean? But fucking
We're doing
Cabal,
spoilers right now.
boom. Thank you very much. I should have did that. So thank you for doing it for me. The thing is though, Cabal goes over there, and there's a part where Kano is obviously, you know, a babyface, aka good guy, and he's gonna turn heel eventually because we all know that, you know, Kano's gonna be doing this. There's a fucking part where Cabal's like, hey, dude, so if you want to, man, you're gonna come over here, you're gonna, you know, just name the price.
Okay, he's not a fucking
What accent is
Mexicano. What the fuck? That's the accent he does when he's trying to do a cholo. Like,
Hey, let me tell you, if you want to make
that's
some money,
the same
Holmes.
bullshit. He was just a normal guy. He just had the iron lung. But like, to me, it's like, yeah, he just shows up. Hey, Kano, you want money? Kano goes, yes.
No, that's way too simplistic. This motherfucker goes back and forth like Cabal first roasts him like he's fucking it from Pennywise, like, hey, you cocksucking motherfucker with your hairy nutsack and stinky butthole, what you doing with that big ass taint? I don't know, Mike. Fucking like just.
I mean,
talking shit.
what is he? Like, what the fuck is he doing with that big ass tank?
No, but it's like,
It was no, because his whole body's burned, and that's like his tank is the air supply to make
no,
sure.
no,
he
I'm
doesn't
saying
fucking
taint.
die.
die.
I'm saying taint, like his butthole.
Oh, I heard tank. I was like, oxygen tank.
Alex trying to explain his taint, like, no, he has a.
I thought I heard tank is an like oxygen tank. Like, yeah, he didn't have
oxygen taint.
But like, God fucking, I hate you all. But you look, they brought in all those people because as soon as they brought in that dude with the hammer, I was like, who the fuck are you? They just brought you in because they're like, oh, we need motherfuckers to die. They're not. Yep. Fuck y'all. Yeah. I hate the skull. I hate everyone in the skull.
It was just funny because you went on to explain. I'm just like, wait, are you about to explain like why his tank is so big?
Yes. If you play Mortal Kombat Special Forces,
Don't you do that, you fucking asshole.
that game is fucking terrible.
But Cabal reminds me of like how me and Alan would be if we're in this universe, where, and it could be either me or him that's Cabal, but someone goes and he's like, yeah, hey, you guys know anybody that can help us out? Oh, I do. I know this piece of shit cocksucking motherfucker. You're gonna love him. It's like, huh? Like this.
His accent wasn't that strong. Like, you're making him seem like he's Joe Pesci. He
Dude,
wasn't
yes!
Joe Pesci.
I was so thinking Joe Pesci the whole movie. I was like, that's Joe
I don't
Pesci.
know what the fuck you were hearing, man.
Oh, that shit got my nerves. I just like, hey, this fucker, you're gonna love him. By the way, it's like, okay, like I get you're trying to tell jokes, but like you're supposed to like, I don't know, kill our fucking heroes. Can you cut it out with the fucking jokes?
Well,
Like,
no, he is gonna kill the heroes, but he's also gonna recruit some guy that's only there because fuck it, someone offered him money. He knows how it works.
And then fucking like, dude, Rico. For one, Rico does not look like that at all. And
Who
Rico
the fuck
doesn't
is
have a
Rico?
hammer. From what? From
Oh, the
MK4.
hammer guy! That guy, I was like, as soon as they brought him up, I'm like, yeah, this guy's dead. They just brought in some random who gives a fuck person to kill.
Well, I give a fuck. That's Shao Kahn's son, dude. He's supposed to take over the fucking whole thing after he leaves. After Shao Kahn dies, the guy who takes his throne is Rico, and then Quan Chi and Shinnok end up dethroning.
Well, they can easily just basically rename the person and just it looks nothing like him. They call him Captain or something, but I'm just like, this is a who gives a shit character General, whatever. Yeah, they'd probably easily be like, yeah, Shang Tsung. I mean, they do that with another character. Goro is in this movie. I thought you were gonna bring up Goro because they did. I mean, I thought the fight was kind of cool, but they kind of did Goro wrong. This guy is tough as fuck.
That's exactly what I fucking goddamn said when I said they wasted so many goddamn characters in this goddamn movie.
Yes, no, they didn't. Because the thing about Mortal Kombat is, and this is the ending of the movie, so if you've actually stuck around and you still haven't watched it, the ending of the movie, yes, the characters, and honestly, yeah, no, they got it. But as good as you can get a 4-armed, 6-foot, muscled out motherfucker, they did what they could on the budget that they had.
He looked good in the movie. He looked great. But
they kind of wasted as a new guy. Like if Liu Kang took him out, I'm like, okay, Liu Kang's like the most important character in this franchise for some reason. But the fact that it was the new guy, I'm like, I don't know. They did him wrong, but
it's annoying because you don't see him kill nobody. It's just like you wasted a character that could easily take out as so many of these fucking people.
I think that they shouldn't have had him in the movie at all.
Well, no, see, I think I like him being in the movie, but I disagree with you both because here's
like at least basically like have him kill someone and then just be off. Like at least like have him like that. You just put him in the movie for
okay. This is what you do. You introduce him at the start, but then afterwards, like at the point where you think the good guys are going to win, have him come out and kill somebody immediately, and then just like okay, this character's around because Goro's okay. It's weird because Goro's like the Doomsday of the Mortal Kombat universe. He's extremely important. But he never really got that much characterization in the games. He was just kind of this big fucking holy shit force. But the fact that the dude we just met that just got his powers mid fight scene kills him was just like, that was the only time in the movie I'm like, I'm actually disappointed in this.
See, Well, I like that, but here's my thing that they could have done because like we're talking a lot of shit. At least I am. Me and Jed are. The things I would do differently.
I know I am.
The things I would do differently is like there's characters like dude, okay, like and I know like they did some things wrong, especially with Mileena, but like you could have shown Baraka here as King Baraka because people don't know this, and this is only like lore that was in like the second game or one of those games. But essentially, Baraka, and this is only one game they explained this, but his real name is King Baraka. Essentially, Baraka is this leader of the fucking Tarkatan I always say this wrong. Soldiers.
Yeah, I fuck it up too.
But the thing is, though, is when one dies, it's almost like an ant queen or ant king, where if you kill an ant, that's a king. Like another one is now crowned or whatever. I don't know what the fuck how insects.
Basically, it's a title versus an original character. But they had to change that because originally Baraka was a character, but then they're like, we want to add more story to the universe. So guess what? The Baraka clan is another series of crazy ass motherfuckers. So guess what? This fatality is like, yeah, well, you only killed one of them. We'll just get another.
Yeah, we'll have Baraka again, and then same thing too is like you could have had more deaths with the Lin Kuei. It would have been cool to see Lin Kuei help out Outworld, where Shang Tsung's like, send in the troops, and then Sub-Zero throws a bunch of.
But he establishes that's going to be the case. I think they could do that for a second movie. True. Like that'd be too much to put in one movie. The fact that in the movie Shang Tsung goes, I'm not going to come back with warriors. I'm going to come back with armies. The next trailer for the next movie could easily be, hey, King Baraka.
Yeah, Brotherhood of Shadow, everybody. The skeletons, they can even fucking bring in zombies. Have Kung Lao be the zombie instead of Liu Kang. I don't know.
And I want to say something that people are wondering. And I've said this in almost every single review of I do not like characters dying for almost no reason or I don't like character deaths in movies. I've said this before. That always kind of bothers me. Mortal Kombat is literally the only franchise that I have to be okay with because that's the fucking game.
Yeah. Well, like another thing too, it's like and
I got mad when they killed my favorite character though, because like there's not that much characterization, but I love Kung Lao so goddamn much in this movie.
Me too. Yeah, he was great.
When they killed him, I was upset. I was like upset for like 10 minutes.
Well, one thing I want to bring up too, because I want to really focus on Goro here, because I'm talking about things I would have done differently. I mean, Tarkatan would be one, but here's another thing: is that this movie actually builds this itself. I don't have to do a whole lot of thinking here. But Sonya Blade and Jax bring up that they're, communicating through all these radio transmissions and they're part of Special Forces. Why couldn't Goro come out and beat up like dudes that are protecting Cool Yun's house? Have like a SWAT team there, and then Goro comes out and just does some Jason Voorhees and rips him apart. That would have been amazing.
I think that at the end of the day, like I don't think he should have been in the movie. Like it's not that much there are too many characters, but that character can be an entire movie himself. He could be the villain of a movie. But the fact that they just kind of throw him in as a random henchman to get wiped out, it's like, how powerful it's like the whole thing of like, hey, we have this incredibly powerful person, but to show how powerful the main character is, we have him kill him in a decently easy way to show how powerful the main character is. It's you say getting over in wrestling, but it's that kind of thing where it's like it's like, for instance, Thanos in Infinity War. How strong is Thanos? He beats the Hulk up without trying, which means we know, because Hulk's the most powerful, Hulk strongest there is. We've seen how powerful the Hulk is. Thanos takes him out in like, a quick fight, which means we know Thanos' power level is more than almost all the Avengers. Okay, we established that. But Goro, doing that with Goro, it's like, to me, it just felt like disingenuous, where it's like, Goro can be the villain of the next movie. And then again, with the ending of this movie, they can bring him back, but it's gonna kind of suck. Man, Goro's so powerful. Bro, dude, because you almost hit his girlfriend, fucking his wife, you got killed. Like, bro, you're not that tough.
Yeah, but another character they did wrong here, and I mean, I don't even know what this is a character that I think should have been left out, because it probably cost money too. Man, Reptile. Well, what you guys masquerade.
I'm honestly, it's like, he's probably one of the ones that actually is. I'm fine with his ass going.
No, that motherfucker looks like he should be on Super Mario Brothers the movie.
That's not Reptile.
Okay, no, you're right.
Force.
That's
true. He literally said it. Send in the reptilians. He didn't say send in Reptile. Send in the reptilians. I don't know why he only sent one. If it were me, I'd send in 2 or 3. But like, he has the same power sets, but like, it could be a situation where it's like, that's just a trained whatever. But then you have Reptile showing up. It's like, oh, by the way, you killed like one of my clan members.
True. But and by the way too, when they did kill him, it's not like a dragon symbol went away, then they grabbed it. Like, they didn't they didn't absorb some warrior shit. So that definitely isn't Reptile, I guess. So you're right.
Kevin just helped confirm it. The director confirmed that's not Reptile.
Wow, okay, that makes sense.
But like we brought up earlier, if they brought up a random dude with knives on his arm, they killed him. Oh no, they killed Baraka. No, they killed a Tarkatan warrior.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So they kind of just did the thing I wanted them to do earlier. But still, it's like, okay, so you're gonna send one reptilian force and not?
Yeah. I really think you should have said 2 or 3. That would have been cooler if every one of them got to kill it. It's like, because they're tough, they're fucking powerful as hell and invisible. Like, it took them all together to fight one. I think you should have sent a couple and have them run away. Like, they can't beat them all. They just have to run away, and then maybe Raiden comes in and like teleports them out to help them out or something. Just to show it's like, hey, we're not just gonna send one.
Yeah. And then the biggest thing to bring up too before we get into the last bits of all this shit, but gotta tell you, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'll start off by saying somewhat one of the first things I thought of when I saw this in bootleg. They did Jax Ron. They didn't do Jax Ron. They did Makad Brooks Ron. So Billy's brother, as everybody knows, we know the double toasted fucking dude. His brother has been in movies. He just did a Tyler Perry movie a while back, and everyone keeps making fun of him. Like ashtray bitch. What I mean? So this guy.
That's his own fault. He could have said no.
No, I think it's great. That movie's awesome. I don't give a fuck.
He should honestly. If Tyler Perry calls, just say no.
No, say yes, dude. And Tyler Perry's helping people out outside of movies. I love Tyler Perry.
Because then you get put in a really bad fucking wig. Like, no.
You put in a bad wig.
You put a bad mustache.
You put in a bad wig. You're exploiting negative stereotypes. You're kind of, and honestly, yeah. Like, do I really have to get into further than you're exploiting negative stereotypes for your own money? Thank you for following.
Sorry. The wig's the worst part, because then you get clowned on, because that shit he was wearing in that movie.
Like, the shitty mustache is one thing, but at least it almost looks like he grew it out, not like it got glued to his fucking face.
It wasn't as bad as Bill Burr's mustache in King of Staten Island. That shit was pretty bad too.
I wouldn't know. I refuse to watch
it. You should watch it, you asshole. But looking at this though, I love this Jax. I really did. Corey's calling me. I do not know why.
Why is Corey calling you? Yeah, he tell you, yeah, man, that Mortal Kombat movie sucks. Like,
yeah, it's not even a pre-show. What the fuck? I'll be right back, I guess. But Jet, tell people what you feel about Jax. Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't give a shit about him in this movie, like, at all. Like, once he's another character that I did not give a shit about. Like, the main characters I really didn't care about, except for Kung Lao. Maybe Liu Kang. Everyone else bored the shit out of me. Kano. But, what happened to fucking Kano?
The thing is, I kind of liked Jax, but at the end of the day, it's like, it's not like, oh, he's my favorite character, but it's like, he showed up, he did what he had to do, and he didn't overstay his welcome. He basically went and found the main character. He's like, I've been following you for a while. He explained the lore, gets fucked up by Sub-Zero to show how powerful Sub-Zero is, and just shows, like, what kind of level the characters are fighting at. And then when his arms get in place, it's like, yeah, this is they do the arms things. When he gets his full arms, like, yeah, okay, because again, he cares about his troops, he cares about Sonya, which establishes the relationship. It's extremely simple character development, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't hate anyone in this movie. Even Liu Kang's stupid, boring ass, I don't hate anybody in this movie. The only person that I think was like, I think Goro was wasted. Mileena, man, I was like, maybe they'll do it better in the movie, but Mileena, I'm like, bro, you're the most.
She got done the absolute fucking worst. Why was she here? Like,
you should have had a random character like you did earlier with the harpy. It looks like she had smeared dog shit all over her face the whole time.
just like this bitch don't got a fucking napkin. Like, I know you feel that dried ass fucking blood on your face. Like, what?
No, it's not blood. It's dog shit. That's what I thought the whole time. I was trying to look. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna get mad. I know that looks like dog shit. I'm not gonna get mad.
Can someone literally just like go like, you got a little something right there? You know, let me get that for you.
Can I just bring up something really quick? Because I think here's the thing with you and Jet and everybody on the internet too.
Look, they didn't even make her powers pink.
But you guys just want her to be sexy. That's another thing. She's supposed to look like she has dog shit. She's supposed. Is
that a problem? Is that a problem?
Okay, I actually like the fact that her outfit wasn't overly sexualized. I'm talking about the actual most recognizable part of her. Besides, I don't know why they ever tried to sex up Mileena. That blows my fucking mind. Anyway, the recognizable was the teeth, and at first I remember, oh, it's not gonna be that bad. It's good. They couldn't do it exactly the same way because of how difficult it would be to fight. The problem is, it looks terrible throughout the entire movie. She barely does any fighting. Her powers aren't pink; they're this weird black, purple, blueberry bullshit, and she gets got so easily that I'm like, come on. Like, that's such a waste of a character. Like, look, at the end of the movie, Shang Tsung teleports them. They're probably going to do the Revenant storyline. They're going to bring these characters back. They could do a redo. But out of all the characters that, like, they wasted people in here. They wasted her so much. They just, if that was Jade, that should just been Jade.
Well, and see, here's the thing. Because her being a black girl, I was like, oh, that'd be cool. And Jade's going to be in a movie. And it's not. It's Mileena. I'm like... I don't know how I like that choice because keep in mind she's supposed to be a twin of Kitana, like legitimate twin. It's just she's a fucked up clone. So I mean, I didn't pull a Halloween 2000 whatever the fuck and be like, hey, so they used to say she was a clone, but she's not a clone. It's like, don't you change that shit on me?
Oh, no,
that's
they used to have her a clone, but guess there's just Mileena instead of. They're gonna do what they always do. Hey, Outworld. Well, we wanted it to be different and foreign, so they're all gonna be a mix of Arab/Africans because they're different. Because Earthrealm is white people.
Yeah. No, and here's another thing, too, that I don't like. And just so you guys know, this is me being fair.
I haven't been wrong since.
There's another thing I'm going to be fair about, too, because I like some of the things they have, the Arcana, whatever. I think that stuff was cool. We'll talk about that more later on.
I love that, actually. Because that's the biggest change, I think, for most of the characters, at least consistently, is how they get their powers is through the Arcana. I'm like, that actually fits way better than it should.
Well, and it's just like the Force with Star Wars. I mean, granted, I hope they don't overuse it here where it becomes stupid, but like at least we have a rule to this, unlike the Force, where like in Mortal Kombat, you have to kill somebody to absorb their abilities, almost like some kind of like championship belt or something, you know what I mean? Which goes into the idea of that this is actually going to be a contest at some point. With the Force, it's like, do you have a Luke? I think I do. Maybe you don't. Maybe you gotta practice it. How you practice it? Who knows? Force is fucking crazy. It's like, yeah, just say you don't know what the fuck the Force is and let's move on. But I like the Arcana. It's pretty cool the way they do it here. But the thing I don't like, and the reason I'm bringing this up so importantly too, is because I give Marvel shit all the time and I insult you fucking nerds. And keep in mind, you guys are still fucking nerds and I hate every single fucking one of you. But they pull a little bit of that Marvel shit where it's like nothing really matters. Mileena dying here, and I know you and Jed are upset about this, but she's not dead. She's a clone. Well, he has tons of clones of her in Outworld.
See, that's something that actually pisses me off. Then why just make fucking clones of them just to so basically just kill them in this movie and then just bring them back again. Then what's the point?
Well, okay, the thing is that they brought in a bunch of randos to basically have it so that they can basically get away with killing. Like Mortal Kombat, the fatalities.
That's annoying because there's so many characters in Mortal Kombat that they literally could have just come on, all these characters we haven't like seen in a long time. Okay, just kill them and then leave the bigger characters that have more like points of the story like for later.
I 100% completely agree. That's why I'm actually like, because again, Milena's like, I'm not even saying she's my favorite character, but like, there is a history with her. She has an iconic, a lot going on. I actually like the updated costume because, again, they're not sitting there trying to make her a fucking stripper. They're just like, hey, she has some cool shit going on. But they basically like this is only Mileena and Mileena name, like in any way, shape, form. Like unless they want to pull some bullshit where they change everything up in the next movie. But like, there's a lot of stuff that they just completely missed. Same thing with Goro. But again, like I don't care about fucking Raiko General dude with a hammer. Yeah, kill him off. I don't give a shit. But some of the other characters, it's like, yeah, they're important as fuck. That's why I think with the Reptile, I was paying attention because I fucking love Reptile. Reptile's one of my favorite characters in there because of how cool he always is. is invisibility, acid stuff. But like if they killed Reptile, like that's fucking stupid. It's like no, they killed somebody called Reptile. I don't know what they're gonna do in the next movie, but they have to redeem a lot of these characters.
Well, that's the biggest thing here too, though, is like it does take the balls away from a lot of things. Like I like that climactic ending, I do. Part of it was ruined because it was the only fucking marketing material they wanted to use for everything, and I was watching trailers like a motherfucker. So that was an issue.
Yeah.
But then the biggest thing about it too is like for one, Scorpion wasn't in the entire movie until the end. I was kind of getting sick of that storyline because I'm not getting people to move the goalposts at all, so that was annoying. But then, the movie ends and. Because this idea that I have an issue with Marvel too, where deaths don't matter, Bihan died. He's gonna become Noob. So Sub-Zero technically did not die, guys. We're gonna get Noob next movie, most likely.
He did die. He dies all the time. He always dies. His entire character fucking arc is to die, and then get reborn either a robot or a fucking smoke dude or some other bullshit. He's a twin. He's a son. He's from another world.
He's a robot. He becomes two robots.
Fuck! Honestly, by the way, there's two reasons why I hate Sub-Zero. Because of that bullshit that I've mentioned before with the whole Kennyism, where he just always comes back and there's always some stupid explanation. And two, Scorpion's better. That's it. I just picked Scorpion when I was a kid, and I hated Sub-Zero because he was the opposite. It's as petty as that. And Ed Boon prefers Scorpion. And we know that.
Oh yeah,
because Scorpion always kills Sub-Zero in every goddamn promo.
Well, and plus, Ed Boon is Scorpion. Like I don't know if you ever heard Boon do that, like at a convention, like "Get over here!" But he's the.
Oh, is that him doing the voice?
Yeah. So technically, cool. Boon is Scorpion, which is pretty cool. And Boon, I mean, the name backwards, Noob. That's
Yeah, Noob Saibot. That's where the Noob Saibot comes from. But like at the end of the day, it's like I'm not mad that they killed Sub-Zero because he never stays dead. So I'm like, fuck, I don't care at this point.
But if I got mad at that, then let's not end a movie like that. Then the fans already know. The people that are not fans are like,
fans know, but the thing is they changed so much that I'm not saying they're not going to do that, but they changed so much with just lore and like I thought I'd be more mad at the fact that Scorpion's technically a good guy in this movie.
Well, yeah, because like here's the thing, and thank you, Devin. I mean, his name is something else. It's not just Kaio. It's like Kuei Lun or Kuei Yun or something. I forgot what the fuck it was. But the thing is, though, is like there is other Sub-Zeros. And I still think that this particular Sub-Zero was only villain in perspective. It's almost like how I deal with the Negan and the Walking Dead thing, where it's like
not necessarily, because there are times where it's like there is one like it's a whole clan, right? But he's like the evil Sub-Zero. But when the other Sub-Zero comes up, it's like, oh, that was the evil one, because he's saying like he's the asshole Sub-Zero. Versus the other Sub-Zero is a good Sub-Zero, but Scorpion is so bent on revenge, he starts killing all the Sub-Zeros.
Yeah, just like, I mean, it's basically him just gaining back for killing his bloodline. He's like, you've been going after all my fucking people. Now I'm going to come for all you motherfuckers. But at the same time...
Oh my god, I hate Sub-Zero so much!
Yeah, but the thing is, like, with this Sub-Zero, it's like, in the beginning, he says, for the Lin Kuei, to the point where, like, okay, you did this for revenge. Like, the Shiryu must have done a lot of fucked up shit, and hopefully we see those things kind of come to fruition when they feel like making Scorpion turn heel. I don't know when that's ever going to happen, but...
I mean, again, you can do it the next movie where it's like the guy shows up and it's like, hey, I'm coming here to help you. If you don't side with me, like, Outworld's going to come over. I'll give you my army of Lin Kuei to help fight the whatevers. And Scorpion goes, go fuck yourself. Hey, Cole, join. It could be a situation where it's like, hey, Cole, he fucked up our bloodlines. Like, that wasn't him. It's like, it might as well be. Like, you can have an interesting dynamic in the next movie with what they set up. Cole has to essentially choose, is he going to join Sub-Zero, who's basically the good guy side, or is he going to join with Scorpion, who helps save his family? They set up a pretty interesting thing to do in the next movie of have Cole basically choose, is he going to be a good guy or a bad guy? And if they want to fuck with this whole, hey, he's a boring character, there's a new character, they can just have him join the evil side.
So this is the last thing I'm going to say that's negative, but not too negative. Because I mean this in a positive for the movie, and I mean this as a negative towards the next one. You should probably guess what this is, but I'm going to go ahead and show it because Jet and me are going to have a big old fight right now.
What?
I am glad Johnny Cage was not in this, and I'm mad as fuck that they thought that he was important enough, his stupid, goofy ass is important enough to make that the stinger. Who the fuck gives a shit about Johnny fucking Cage?
Whoa,
Are you serious?
I sure do. I sure do.
Whoa.
I sure the fuck don't. I want some fucking dork to come out here and joke the whole fucking movie and be like, oh, that's crazy that I saw that guy do
But
that.
you enjoyed Kano.
Because Kano works in the universe, and
Whoa, Nick. You're 100% right.
Thank you so much.
I hate Johnny Cage.
Also,
loser.
that joke didn't work because I saw it coming because I know exactly how you are with that. And guess what? He also got booty as well. Guess who did get booty? Because he's dead.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Gozel was the best character in this goddamn movie. Kano,
He's also a better parent than fucking Sonya Blade Hill in the fucking video games. And guess what? Who's the better character? Johnny fucking Cage.
No. Johnny Cage is only a good character in like 2 games. He has an entire history of being the biggest loser in the fucking world. Holy shit. He's a typical fucking like Jack Sparrow, but without anything going on, except for the fact that we give him magic dragon power.
And then he gets character development.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Fucking person. Yes, he does.
For most of the series, he doesn't. Only in the fucking reboot did they give him character development.
Yeah. And, well, no,
he literally does not change for a majority of the fucking games. That's why Mortal Kombat 9.
Exactly, Kirk. Exactly.
Yeah, actually, no. They cast him as a Cage. That's the perfect.
Look at you, you dusty 2-timing bitch.
Hey, Cabal,
yeah, what the fuck? But as much as I agree that Johnny Cage is a loser, people again like Jet for some fucking reason. He's a recognizable name, and people were complaining that why is he in the movie?
See, that's why I call bullshit.
You haven't guessed what we're getting the rest of them.
People say that, but that's because
the sequel is basically just going to be the 1995 version then.
No, basically, which is not
a good
idea.
Start of the movie.
No, but that's not even a good idea. And by the way, too, to put this out here, guys, like I know what's going on here. For the last 10, 15 years, beginning these fucking Marvel movies that always have like we got to deal with humor.
Yeah, they want the comedian in there. But the thing is, did that in this movie, and he did it well because he wasn't overpowering. Everything he said actually worked. Like half the time when you're watching a fucking Guardians movie or Iron Man, it's like the jokes just fall flat because like, well, hey, we got to make jokes. But that character didn't feel like he was only there to make jokes. He was there to call out a lot of the dumb shit and weird shit that was going on. But it all felt within character. It didn't feel like, hey guys, we know Mortal Kombat's dumb, so let's show you how dumb it is. Like, no, we're gonna try our best to showcase this in a way that's respectful. But guess what? This character who doesn't give a shit about anything does it really well. He's basically the better Captain Boomerang because he actually does stuff in the movie. I think they didn't want to have 2 characters like that, so they kill him off in this one, and the next one, Johnny Cage is gonna fit that. And he's going to be more of the smarmy Jack Sparrow drunk douchebag.
Yeah, well, here's my biggest thing about this, too. Is like, okay, let's just say that he is important to some people and that he is very useful as far as comedy goes. Let's just say that, right? My issue with this is why the fuck is humor the stinger for a movie about the end of the fucking world and people dying and getting ripped apart? Why is the
humor? It's to show that, because the thing is, well, they only had they had a few of the memorable cast members. But what was the thing people were complaining about? Hey, how come my fan favorite isn't in there? It wasn't so much to be like, hey, Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage is. If you think of the roster of Mortal Kombat from the goddamn fucking theme song, Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, like he is up there. It's like having an Avengers movie without fucking Captain America or Iron Man, and it's like, yo, what the fuck? This is a character that's been there since the start. It's a show. It's like, guess what? We're gonna get more of the fan favorites. We're gonna get Johnny Cage. We're gonna get fucking Kintaro. We're gonna get a bunch of these people that you guys remember. We're gonna get Katana back. We're gonna get all these other people to showcase, hey, guess what? We have ideas for this fucking universe. We didn't just shit this out. We have plans.
Yeah. And Devin, it says that he's the best character in MK 9, X, 11, and then the movie, the original movie.
Oh hell no. MKX, sure. MK9 is terrible.
Yeah, like in 9 he was annoying. I didn't like him in 9. In X I felt was very. For one, I still think that Cassie Cage is the main character, not really Johnny Cage. That's another big thing.
Did he say the best character? No, well, yeah. No, the kids, basically the Mortal Kombat kids are the main characters. Yeah. But I like what they did. They managed to get this kind of slumbag loser who thinks he's the greatest in the world and made him into a really good, decent parent that I like, because you don't see that a lot of times with the jokey character. He always ends up being some blowhard, like broke loser. But the fact that they made him like an actual, like he's a general and he has like a future and he cares about his daughter, like I like that because they made the character better.
It's just like for me, and I'm going to show this part over here because this shit was amazing. I remember I almost fucking cried of excitement, guys. But this is the original ending from the 1995 movie. You got fucking Frank Welker here doing voice acting for Shao Kahn.
Oh, that's what you wanted. You wanted the fucking stinger to be Shao Kahn.
Oh, fuck yeah, because they barely even announced the Emperor in this movie. And then you got this guy, he's like, bow to me. Like, this is fucking amazing.
I'm sorry, but, like, they had so many... Look, I'm sorry, but...
Oh, that music starts playing.
By the way, do you know how the movie starts immediately? They go... Oh, I hate that fucking... That second movie starts off bad. We just start off, dead. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Not even a fight. He just dies in a second. But at the end of it, it's like, they had so much going on in this movie, so much to juggle, that, again, what was the problem? Goro is an important like force of nature that they just throw away. Mileena, they just fucking like get rid of. Like I didn't really care about Cable that much, but I like that they showcased that. But even that felt rushed. Like a lot of the second half felt very, very rushed.
You say Cable?
What?
Yeah, it's Cabal.
You say Cable?
No, that dude, I don't get it. I'm sorry. He's a fucking loser. I don't care if his name is Cable or Cabal.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that fucking Marvel character just comes in the.
I know, right? You got fucking Josh Brolin in there.
I know Kirk's still in the chat. He's mad at me because that's his favorite character. I don't give a fuck. He just has a cool design. That's about it. Motherfucker Sonic the Hedgehog in the goddamn Mortal Kombat universe.
But like, okay, let's stick with what the movie already did, and let's base on that. Okay, why not show more special forces people? Maybe Jackson and walk around, and you see Stryker, and you see maybe they're working on robots now. Or
juggling it'd be juggling too much.
Well, no, because they already brought out special forces. Or how about this? Fuck that. The movie just ended with Sub-Zero or Bi-Han dying. Let's see a shadow come out somewhere. It's like a hand, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, there's fucking Noob.
They did actually. They did it. The shadow. They shadow grabbed every goddamn person. They just didn't show Noob coming because they want to build that up. The thing is, they brought up special forces, but they kind of shows like there's a history in this.
It should have ended at that because I feel like that's one of those things.
No, it would have been too fucking much because like they would have just said to them, "Hey guys, Noob," and it's like you're not gonna build them up because Noob's a cool ass fucking person. He's one of the coolest characters in the entire fucking like Mortal Kombat universe. I don't want him as a 2-second thing at the end. I want to start the movie off like they did with fucking Winter Soldier, where you have like the part where you start to see like Bucky being turned into Winter Soldier. I want to see that with Noob Saibot. I want to see 15 minutes of, hey, Bi-Han, by the way, we're giving you all these cool new powers. You're doing all this cool bullshit and have him fuck up the team. I want to see that.
I would want that too, but it's just, I don't know, man. Like, I just feel that Johnny Cage thing. It's like, it's almost like they kind of oh, Quan Chi, thank you so much. Because like, here's another thing too. If they want to,
that's the part I'm surprised they didn't bring up.
Yeah, because Breath of the Shadow is a huge fucking point of this. And then the Black Dragon, like, dude, there might be a slight chance that Kano, someone's gonna work on him and bring him back to fucking life. Like, there's so many other Ermac,
give him the eyes
of souls. Yeah, there's so.
But again,
much
a lot of stuff that you're saying, yes, but a lot of stuff that you're saying is sequel stuff. Like you brought up this stuff. It's like again when Age of Ultron, your favorite Avengers movie. There's so much in that movie that gets brought up in other movies because they establish it there, but they can't fit that all into one movie, so they drop it there, like the stones or the Thor's visions, a lot of Wanda, and you know all that stuff. They then capitalize it in later movies. All the stuff you're saying, yeah, that stuff's cool. And yeah, I want to see Ermac. I want to see if they're going to give Kano the metal, eye thing. I want to see a lot of the stuff there. But that would have been too, because again, this movie has a problem where it didn't develop enough of the characters. Adding in more characters would have made the movie almost incomprehensible. So what you do in the next movie is you could split it up more. You can have what you brought up is 2 or 3 movies worth of content.
You're right. You actually are right. But it's just like, dude, like some kind of alluding. Like I don't know. It's just, I guess I just can't get over the Johnny Cage thing. It's just, and we'll move on and everything because I think I've already made my point. You guys have definitely given me enough reasons to not feel that particular way. But
better bring back Kung Lao. I'm so mad. I need a Shaolin Monks movie. I need to see a live action Baraka pick up a monk, stab him in the chest, set him on fire, and throw it. So Liu Kang goes, "Are you okay?"
I mean, one thing I would do too, to be honest, is allude to that maybe Cole Yun's like, I need to find my other ancestors, and then he found Kenshi. Maybe we see a guy who's blindfolded,
and
or
he's back Keanu Reeves.
That would be fucking great. That's a great casting.
Literally, they have to. I will be mad, unreasonably mad if they don't get Keanu Reeves as Kenshin.
Or one more thing, why can't Cole Yun be Takeda, who is Scorpion's fucking son?
I mean, they could. No, because
look at his body armor, like. He
has
Takeda's body. Like, just instead of having those knives come out, maybe it's chains, and then he has his own get over here shit going on.
They could either do that where it's like essentially like, hey, Scorpion trains him, and they do that storyline. But like in the MKX, it's because he came back to being a human, and then they basically gave him the he got a family and whatever. So it's like I don't know if they want to go that storyline, but they could easily just have it. It's like, hey, your powers are evolving. You're now getting to get over here because he has the fucking spearhead or arrowhead or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. You could easily just have that, and we'll call you. Hey, your code name. You're working for Special Forces. Your code name is Takeshi or Takeda or whatever the fuck.
Takeda, yeah. So like that's just it's Kenshi's son. I could have sworn maybe Scorpion taught him, but like they're part of the Shioryu. I knew that for sure. So it's like that would have been.
I'll look it up while you talk.
Yeah, but like I guess essentially, I guess we'll wrap this up. I mean, Alan gave the 7 out of 10. I don't know if your opinion has changed since this conversation is concluded or whatever. No, because
What?
sometimes minds change. Sometimes I'll be like, I hear some other points of the argument. I'll be like, okay, maybe I'll change my shit. But like for me, look, this movie, I've said all the bad shit about it, and I said a few good things. For me, on my grading scale, because I do it out of 5, this is a 4 out of 5. This movie, and keep in mind, like the way my enjoyment of it is 5 out of 5. My enjoyment is I'm gonna watch this again later, and I'm gonna watch it again next week, and I'm gonna watch it again in a month. I fucking love this movie. I adore, I admire, I'm obsessed with this movie. I had a whole week to think about this, almost 2 weeks, just thinking about all the things I dislike, and is it worth not enjoying this movie? And it's like, dude, I would recommend this to anybody. I fucking passionately love this movie. But there's so many problems that you have to really consider. Like, okay, these problems being here, is that a problem because movie rules that we've all just kind of accepted, like these are the things, or are these problems here because they're in the franchise? I've been playing Mortal Kombat games for my whole life. I still don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know, like Freddy Krueger is in Mortal Kombat, guys. It makes no fucking sense.
It's not that he doesn't know what's going on, it's that it changes from game to game, so you just like, I know what's going on, now I don't. Now I do, now I don't.
Yeah. Especially Mortal Kombat 11, that stupid ass
Oh my
DLC.
God.
Oh my god. Guys, Shang Tsung is a hero. Never mind, he's a good guy. Okay, he's a hero again. Never mind, he's a good guy. There's no such thing as dying. You go to a void in the fucking inside of hell. Oh wait, they have one in Edenia because it's in heaven. Oh no, so you can't escape that place unless other sorcerers take you out. Oh, but Fusion and fucking Nightwolf was able to get him out. By the way, Nightwolf is friends with Shang Tsung. Like, what the fuck is going on? And then now, Liu Kang, by the way, just so you guys know, there's a character named Chronica who fucking controls time.
Oh my fucking god, Chronica's one of the worst villains.
And by the way, Liu Kang beat her because, my god, he's just so good at fucking kung fu. So he kills her, and now, just like this fucking dragon shit in this movie, it's in MK11. Liu Kang is now, I don't even know if you played all of Aftermath, dude. But Liu Kang
I
is
refuse
now,
to. I hated the ending of MK11 so much that the idea for paying for more of that, now I'm good.
Yeah, another 60 fucking bucks. And then here's the thing, guys, just so you know where we're going to, Liu Kang is now the keeper of time because he killed Chronica. So Liu Kang has looped everything back to Mortal Kombat 1. So you know how we got a remake in 9, then we got time travel and little remake things of AKX, then we had retro versus new in MK11. Well, Mortal Kombat 12 when that comes out is part 1 again, guys. So for those of you that don't like Pokemon Yellow being fucking redone 1,000 times, tell me how you like playing the first Mortal Kombat generation over and over again for fucking almost a decade now, guys.
Well, as somebody that's a Dragon Ball fan that has played a lot of Dragon Ball games, that is the most annoying thing in the goddamn world, is redoing everything again. But the benefit is you get to just change things up like they did in MK9. That's what made that story mode kind of amazing, because they essentially sped up all the way through to Armageddon.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they chopped off Shinnok's head, and because he's so evil that Raiden decided to make a certain evil where his head is chopped off, but now he lives in his own head. So now Shinnok is just sitting there talking to himself as a head for eternity. This fucking shit got stupid, dude. Like,
it will and continues to be. Every time they fix it, they make it stupid. Which is, I completely agree with Nick on this.
Yeah, so because of that, it's like, the problems with this movie is because of Mortal Kombat, not because of the movie. Simon McCoy, this is the only movie he's ever directed. He's doing the next 3 ones. The guy who plays Ozir has already signed on for the next 3 ones. This movie and this franchise, this universe, is going to be incredible. And it's going to be the #1 fucking thing that Warner Brothers is doing. I am fucking hyped for it. Jet, take it away. I gave mine 4 out of 5. I have no idea what you're going to give this. I'm fucking scared.
2.5 out of 5.
Damn.
Why? Why are you such a fucking... You don't like fun? You're the fun police. Jet has literally become the fun police.
This wasn't fun to me, like, at all. Like, the fight scenes in here, like, the good ones, there's, like, 2. The rest are basically just your standard fights. It just bored the shit out of me. I didn't like any of the characters except for fucking Kano. Like, characters were wasted. And the thing is, I can't be... Like, even though I was yelling this entire review, I can't be that mad at it because the story of Mortal Kombat's fucking stupid. It's just, I just preferred the 1995 one better because, yeah, it knew it was fucking stupid, and it was campy, and it was, like, the CG was fucking horrible. I was laughing at it most of the time while also having a good time. With this one, it's just like, it feels like they're still taking it too seriously and left everything to Kano to basically kind of make it fun. It just wasn't for me. As much as I know about Mortal Kombat, this just was not it. It just was not it. It's not it. I'm happy that the major Mortal Kombat fans and the fighting fans, Alan, like this movie. I can't really tell them not to like it, because just like at the end of the day, you're gonna like what you're gonna like.
You said you're gonna stab me.
That's because you called me a bitch.
I don't
I
actually.
mean, you kind of almost accidentally did.
But yeah, like I mean, if you like fighting, you're gonna love the fuck out of this movie. For me, it just wasn't all the way there. So yeah, still at 5.
Oh, it breaks my fucking heart, guys. Because I gotta tell you, man, like there's points, and Jed's probably gonna laugh with her, but I've cried so much.
Also, I watched this movie twice now. Like I thought my opinion would change after not seeing it in bootleg. It was still the same.
When certain fights happen, like especially after the Shane Stone thing, like my eyes watered. Like I'm telling you, dude, like I love this franchise so much to see these characters come to life. I had one of those nerdy moments, probably what people felt when Captain America grabbed that fucking hammer. You know what I mean? Like this was amazing to me. So yeah, it is what it is. I can't wait for the second one, but I want to bring that thing up that I meant to bring up earlier on the stream, but we started talking about Army of Two. So I showed this to one of our co-hosts, 90s. And I got instantly, because, like, here's another thing. I'm a nerd for lots of other shit, including Terminator. Yeah. Dude, explain this to me, Alan. This right here. This is not just a thing of semen or something, because it looks like a sperm now. I'm looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
This is a shape-shifting liquid metal that could revolutionize robotics. Dude, are we about to hit Terminator 2 levels of craziness? Is this that fucking Robert Patrick fucking character?
I mean, shape-shifting metal wouldn't be that difficult to do with a bunch of magnets. Liquid metal has been a thing. That's what mercury is essentially liquid metal. Putting it within computer chips so that it could actually use its own magnets and computers don't always tend to go well. So you could have it. The answer to that question is yes.
That's fucking scary, dude. The end of the world is happening. I'm just putting it out there right now, guys. All right, be good people.
But you asked me earlier if my opinion on this changed, and I know I gave my rating earlier on, but I'm just gonna continue on. Like, no, this didn't fucking change at all. Like, to me, it's like this is like I give it the exact same score you did, 4 out of 5. Because as we talked about it, I realized, yeah, I fucking loved everything about this movie. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it because I have an extremely high standard when it comes to choreographed fighting, as everyone fucking knows. Where I literally gave the lowest rating for Godzilla vs. Kong because I didn't think the fighting was as good. So watching this, I'm like, well, I have extremely high tolerance. I don't think it's going to be as good as I want it to be. This was better than I ever hoped it was going to be. I had such a low standard for fucking video game movies that the fact that this like blew it out of the water, that this was just, I don't have to apologize for it being good. It is fucking fantastic. It gave me everything that I ever fucking wanted within a Mortal Kombat movie. It gave me characters that I actually cared about. It showed me a lot of the stuff that I've always wanted to see in video games. It called out a lot of the stupid stuff, but it also brought back a lot of there's that 1.1 character who goes, you have to test your might. And I started freaking out because I'm like, yeah, test your might. I remember almost breaking my goddamn controller trying to beat some of those goddamn challenges because those things were the most unfair thing ever fucking created. But the fact that they're incorporating that into the story was fantastic. The fact that they managed to have really good fights that lasted more than just 2 fucking hits, like Winter Soldier, the fucking finale, that was goddamn. The show, not the movie. The fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier finale was goddamn terrible. I watched it immediately afterwards, so I was just mad that whole fucking time. But watching this, I'm like, you gave me good fight scenes. You gave me characters. I'm like, hey, you gave me a simple story, but you gave me simple characters, so everything kind of went through. You gave me things that I fucking wanted. I saw Kung Lao standing next to Liu Kang and started freaking out because all I could think of was Shaolin monks standing right beside each other. I've wanted to see that for fucking ever. And the fact that they took it as seriously as they could, for as ridiculous as the Mortal Kombat story is, I felt respected as a fan because they brought up a lot of stuff. There was a lot of disrespect, but you managed to even out. I saw DJ Miles posted that this movie is 60% great, 40% bullshit, and I kind of agree. That's a good way to sum it up. But 4 out of 5, because I watched the movie twice almost, because I went back and rewatched it, that this means, like, I'm going to watch this forever.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was incredible. And, like, yeah. I don't know. For me, you know what? Because people can bring this up because HBO Max only has 2 good fucking movies. I'm sorry, guys, if you disagree, whatever. But HBO Max, bro, you guys got to get some better shit on there. But Godzilla vs. Kong was great, and this was great. And I think that like people are asking a lot, like which one's better. And I will say it's better made film watching Godzilla vs. Kong. Like I think that one's better than this in some ways when you think about like movies. But the thing is anytime someone asks me, well, what would you have done or whatever, because that's the way you should look at it. If you think a movie sucks and you have good enough reasons why, you should be able to tell me what you would have done if you had like an infinite amount of money. And with Godzilla vs. Kong, I can imagine within that runtime, there's a lot of things I would have changed, and especially just adding more fight scenes. With this movie, give me the exact same amount of runtime, I don't think I'd change much. I don't know what to do. Like
in all honesty, I would extend it. I've always been
what if you can't,
fan
though?
of.
What if you're?
If I can't?
Yeah. Like, is there anything you would change with the same runtime? Like, they did the best they could.
I would. Yeah, I would get rid of Goro entirely. Cut him out, and then get rid of Goro. Get rid of Mileena. Replace Mileena with I don't know, some random fucking chick no one's ever fucking heard of, like they did with the fucking RP.
Yeah.
Add in another
Ashra
random
or somebody,
chick.
or
Sure.
Lee
It's someone who no one gives a fuck about. Completely get rid of the Goro fight and have him have Cole fight somebody else to get his power, or just use some of that time to develop Sonya gets her powers randomly.
off screen.
Everyone else has to earn it. She just gets it. I'm like,
well, she gets it from killing Kano because the absorption of the whatever. But still,
yeah, I guess, but she doesn't earn it like everyone else does. And it would have again, take the Goro stuff out completely. Use that time to develop Sonya a little bit more, and then that's about it. I wouldn't change that much either because I feel like the second movie is going to be the one to really do it. It's like, to me, this is like Guardians 1, Batman Begins. It's like they're not perfect fucking movies, but the potential for the sequels are incredible.
Yeah. No, man. But yeah, I have fun with this. Ruth is saying, I need y'all to review There's No I in Threesome. Oh, Jesus Christ. That doesn't sound great. Is that the one with Mehcad Brooks, by the way? Because I remember there was this one thing where something happens in the movie where a guy, like, fucks his girl. He's been fucking her for a while. And then, like, somebody comes in, and it's the husband, but he's with another, like, the other guy's girl. And they're like, I don't know, it's fucking crazy.
That's a foursome. That ain't no threesome. That's going on an orgy at that point.
Yeah, I forgot what the fuck it was.
I don't know what the fuck any of y'all are talking about.
I don't know. I just remember, like, that's one of those things people talked about Mehcad Brooks about, or maybe it's not even Mehcad Brooks. I don't know. But I will say this definitely a better movie for him than fucking the Tyler Perry movie, A Fall from Grace. I'm gonna tell you, but Fall from Grace is good.
With that fucking thick ass wig.
Guys, go still watch that though. Tyler Perry.
Please watch it again. I want a sequel.
Tyler Perry is literally helping people out. You know, he's out there fucking giving money to people. You know, I'm just saying, like, fuck these movies at the end of the day, okay? Like, he's doing some good stuff out there. So, yay. Hashtag Tyler Perry. You know, work out. And hashtag Simon McQuaid. I will say, this director who did...
I want the guy to do more movies. Like, not Tyler Perry. Fuck. The guy directed Mortal Kombat. Simon McQuaid. I want him to do more movies. I think I'm always impressed when a Hollywood director can actually do fights properly. And yes, like, they literally got two of my favorite fucking kung fu fighters in the fucking movie. Like, Joe Talisman is fucking fantastic. Yes. And I keep forgetting who the guy playing Scorpion, but he's also really good too. So I'm like, you got two expert choreographers, like, to actually fight. And I'm like, yeah, this is what happens. We're like, oh no, we're gonna get some pretty boy and have him throw a few punches. It's like, no. When you get actual people that are trained to choreograph fight, you get amazing stuff.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. But anyways, guys, so normally we would do a lot more topics and just shoot the shit and everything too, but I'm going to actually get going because 2 hours. So if we spend 20 or 30 minutes in the beginning of this fucking show just talking about random stuff and then we got into this, essentially, man.
We did it. We did a review as long as the movie.
Yeah, that's amazing. But I think it's worth it. I think this movie was definitely worth it.
Did you guys? Because you guys, when I came in, you guys were still talking about something else.
Look, man.
I can't remember. I really cannot remember. I'm gonna go back and look because
we did about 10 minutes of Army of Two and Dead Space, and then we went to the review. So we almost did the run length of the movie without the credits.
Like 5 more minutes left, essentially. You know, so pretty cool. But I will say though, guys, like, I mean, even if you don't like this shit or whatever, like, I recommend watching it just because this is one of those things that really sets your palate. If you're not a fan of this, and you want to still give some love to, like, these video game movies that come out, like, this is one of those things that's like, there's enough here from the video games that this is how you find out what you want a video game movie to do and what makes you happy, what makes you not so happy. Yeah. I will say still my number one best video game movie I kind of think is Sonic. I
think but the thing is with Sonic is that Sonic departs so much from the source material because, again, Sonic has the same problem Mortal Kombat is. The source material is really fucking stupid. And I dare somebody to fight me. The game, you might have enjoyed the game, but that story is ridiculously stupid. To the extent where there's bestiality at one point.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a great thing to have in your movie.
Sonic 06. Sonic makes out with
so you're saying Sonic isn't sexy?
Sonic's sexy.
Yes. I think I can easily say that.
And much better trailer, by the way, too. Sonic had it.
Actually,
you know what? I get you. You're more of a Knuckles fan. Knuckles is like big.
I guess a Nipples fan. What the fuck?
Knuckles is way cooler in every way.
I get you. You're just like, Knuckles is sexy. Knuckles is a sexy one. I get you.
He's a cooler in every single fucking way. So the fact that he's in the sequel, I can't wait.
I will say the last thing I'll say before we get out of here, guys, is like another thing. the marketing team needs to be better for the second movie because I gotta tell you, this is some of the piss poor fucking marketing I've ever seen. They don't have the song, and this is not me just being a music nerd or someone who just really likes nostalgia. That song literally introduces your cast. It's the perfect fucking theme song.
They're never gonna top it. I want them to at least do something different. But you can't top it. It's perfection.
It's literally perfection. And then like another thing too, it's like one trailer, and then even the trailer didn't have the song. That's annoying. And then it's like these trailers, you gave away the Jax shit. You know what I mean? Like. You gave away a lot. Like, the whole fucking climactic ending is literally in the fucking trailer. Like, I don't like doing this because it's like, you know, I don't want to be like that cynical where I don't watch trailers anymore. We do a show, so we gotta watch trailers. But Alan said many a times, Trey, one of the guys that used to co-host with us, says it all the time, but trailers kill the fucking movie sometimes, dude. Like,
I avoided a lot of the trailers for these movies because, like, I didn't really, like, there was enough in this that I could enjoy that I didn't necessarily, like, oh, the trailer spoiled, but, like, there's a ton of times where I'm like, oh yeah, I saw the character's death in the trailer. Like, not character, but like person's death in the trailer.
No,
like,
actually, you know, there's a bit at the end of the trailer that's like 5 seconds, like finish him. They spoil every single fucking death in this movie. So
100%.
Yeah, if you guys care about spoilers, if you watch the trailer, there ain't nothing left in this movie that's gonna leave you surprised. They tell you every single fucking thing. Not cool.
Like, yeah, that's like again, I saw one trailer and it's like, are you watching others? I'm like, nope, I'm already watching the movie, so I'm good.
Yeah. With that said, guys, we're going to get out of here. Tell people where to find you, good sir.
Alrighty then. So if you want to follow me and stuff that's not actually video game related, but more politically related, check out my Facebook, part of the Metropolis Collective. We have an Illuminati episode we're recording tomorrow. We're going to talk about all sorts of bullshit stuff you could probably guess. And it revolves around a verdict. So be sure to check that out.
Yeah.
But drop a like there so you know when the premieres go. Follow any one of us on Facebook. You'll see it through just like friend or friend. You'll see a lot of the premieres being posted. Nunez have an episode that I really should edit. And that'll be up tomorrow. The Illuminati will be Monday.
Awesome, guys. With that said, thank you so much for hanging out with us for as long as you guys have. Really appreciate it.
That scene with Kano and Sonya basically fighting in the house, that was pretty hot.
You fucking...
That was probably the only fight where I was just like, it was interesting. I liked it.
Like, damn. Like, I'm getting kind of sweaty over here.
Wait, why?